Sorry, hello. I was muted. God, not having the best day. But here we are for another night of VCS action. Hope everyone is keen as we are. I, as always, am every day, and with me is my good friend Yulwei. How are we feeling about tonight?
Hello. Welcome back to the VCS Week 7, of course. How are we feeling? Yeah, I hope we get some very interesting games, because this week should be more interesting than last week, and last week already surprised us, so I'm hyped. Cerberus against Team Secret should already be a very good match to start the game, the day with.
Yeah.
And it's another cool little statistic. We're now at 88 games, so after this series, we will tie or overcome the game count for either LCS or LEC, and we're only in week 7, so clearly the more competitive season.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous how many games the VCS teams do play, considering it's also not the biggest league in terms of team count, so it's a little bit nuts, but I'm particularly excited about our first series tonight. I think it's going to be a real... It's looking at it, it might not seem like the closest thing in the world, right? But Secret didn't have a good week last week. Neither did Cerberus. But if Cerberus bounces back better, suddenly they're looking damn good in the playoff race if they can get one up over Secret.
Yeah, you said it. It's a little bit of a redemption story for either team, so it's very important to get the victory here. Team Secret, of course, still 2 games ahead, so they can slip up here and there and still be safe looking at playoffs, but not too often. They are still not secured, and would really make a big step forward if they can win today. Yeah. On the other side, Cerberus looked like a clear front runner for the 4th place. If they lose today, suddenly they fall back to 6th place, and Team DBL and of course EVOS as well will overthrow them at 4th place. So it's a very important series for both teams, maybe a little bit more important for Cerberus, and coming off a very bad week for both teams. We'll have to see who can find their form again. I'd still favor Team Secret, though.
Yeah, I think that is the way to go. But again, part of it may just be how well they recover from the disaster that was last week, the week of upsets, as we coined it, as just today or last night, depending on your time zone, we did release an episode of the Every Way podcast. If you're interested in some insight and who we think might get up this week, might be a bit of one to check out. We had a good chat. But moving on to Cerberus taking on Secret, where do you think the real pressure points are going to be?
So last week, for the first time this season, Hani struggled a lot, of course, against Hasmet in the top lane.
We talked about this matchup this season. I mean, he's actually had a good split. Hani, he's had a good split.
Yeah, Hani's had a very good split. So that was the first time he really got exploited. He didn't win all the lanes, of course. It's Hani. He doesn't really win lanes, but he was fine and just doing his thing, letting his team carry him. But last week he was a big problem, and especially also not only his play, but also Team Secret's play around Hani, where they just abandoned him and let Hasmet snowball and carry the game. Cerberus is not really the team to do that, though. We talked about that yesterday a little bit. LL and YT are solid top laners, strong laners, but not really players that are able to run away with a big advantage. They are not Hasmet-like, not as aggressive. So I don't think Cerberus... I think Cerberus can definitely look to attack top lane. I'm not sure if they will be able to transition the top lane lead into game victory. For Cerberus, so far, looking at the whole split, it's about Artemis and Ronopi being super good players. Zuhao also very solid in the jungle, but Artemis and Ronopi are the backbone of the team. So I talked about this yesterday as well. Try to ban out some ADCs and force Celebrity on something uncomfortable, something positioning and let's say auto attack heavy, not Aphelios and Senna. So and then try to work with Artemis's mechanical advantage over Celebrity, because Celebrity has played a very good season, but he's still not the greatest team fighting AD carry when it comes to min-maxing damage output. When it comes to positioning, he's a very good backline AD carry, but good secondary ADC. So I think if you don't ban out champs for him, then he can just be fine and coast by. So I'd like to see a targeted ADC, target the ADC pool from Cerberus.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I definitely agree. I do think there's... it's interesting because I don't necessarily think Cerberus really hard outclasses Secret in any role. But I almost think... it's hard to say because I think it's true of Secret as well. Cerberus has very good team play, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's often like they're... See, this is funny because we often use this term to describe Secret, is they're better than the sum of their parts. Is they may not have the best players, but sometimes they look really good because they work well together. But as I alluded to, that's true of Secret as well. So I guess it kind of comes down to not so much lane skill as team plans.
Yeah, so might just come down to who's the better team on the day, of course, who has more coordination. And I agree with your sentiment that both teams are not like star-studded rosters, more relying on team play. Cerberus is kind of the Secret light, but with different strengths. So Secret is, if you look at the players for Secret, definitely a team that is stronger than the sum of their parts, but also strong mid-jungle duo, right? DNK and Artifact, you can always play through DNK and Artifact.
Absolutely.
While Cerberus' mid-jungle is not the strongest. It's Zuhao, Yado. Yado has been solid, not great, not super bad either. He's not Parky level, but he's also not DR1 level. So Yado is just there to farm waves and not really to be the big assassin player or anything. He's played some Trist games now. Trist is one of our highest priority champs. But his most played are Ori, Zoe, and Cassiopeia, so just hold mid lane and scale into mid game.
Yep.
While Zuhao is very much about ganking the side lanes. So this is an interesting matchup because Team Secret might just attack mid lane while Cerberus attacks bot lane, and we have a little bit of an arms race who can snowball more.
Yeah, I think it'll be very, very interesting. Hopefully we do head into Champ Select soon enough so we can start seeing what matters. Something I want to talk about just in general, but also how it might apply to this split. If you're watching the Vietnamese stream, obviously you don't see it on our stream, unfortunately. The third most prioritized champion in the VCS is Elise.
Yeah, that is...
which is strange.
Quite interesting.
Number 1 and 2.
84.1%.
Number 1 and 2 being Set and Aphelios. Okay, duh. That's the entire
Makes
planet.
sense.
But Elise...
But also, On it seems to be missing from the top 5, of course, if you look at all the meta around the globe. But VCS has picked up the On the last few weeks. On is quietly slotted into first or most played champ in the top lane. He's not banned too often. That's probably why he's not overthrowing Set in that statistic. But in terms of games played, On has 6 more than Set. So he's the most played top laner at 32 On games. We haven't really seen too much mid lane On, which is something especially the Western regions like to play a lot, and Korea as well, I think. So
that's down to who the VCS has in the mid lane. I think a lot of the teams that have adapted to the Ornn, which tend to be the top teams, because shockingly enough, if you play Ornn, you typically win some games. They have star mid laners who don't necessarily want to go on to tank duty.
Yeah, it's a good call. Of course, the on flex is something that is looked very strong, especially in EU, I think. The top teams also being willing to put players like Perks, like Nuke Duck, even Nemesis, of course, on the on. So I'd like to see that. Maybe not for Gum. I think Gum is the only team that can get away with not prioritizing on because they are so much of an early game team that they don't really rely on scaling.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Kiaya on it, honestly.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think it's terrible.
I would like to see Flash maybe try to get some mid lane on games in as well. To open up Yoshino to go for more, open up Yoshino for more carry matchups, especially on this patch. If we actually go to 10-5, Yoshino got a buff to his favorite champ. Fiora is super strong right now. Fiora, everything for Fiora got buffed. We had turret platings. We had not Titanic, the other Ravenous Hunter.
Yeah, the Tiamat, Ravenous Hydra. Yeah,
Hydra. That item now is as a standalone item, it's super strong. 18% lifesteal. I think it didn't really get more expensive. So it's the first item power spike for Fira is much bigger, and she gets more gold of turret platings. Combine that with Fira being already one of the strongest picks for Yoshino. I think he could really look to prioritize the Fira more, maybe even draw target bans, and then try to play champs like On in the mid lane for Flash. Yeah, I'd like to see that adaptation. So far, Yoshino has been on duty, and yeah, for some reason they put Kati last week on champs like Renekton and Tristana. Don't really like to see that too much. I think you should just go back to either control mages or try an on game here and there.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. And I think Flash is going to be very, very fun to watch as this week progresses, particularly because of who they're playing. Don't need to go into super much, but obviously it is the big boys, the Flash versus Garm, which is happening tomorrow, which will be super exciting.
Yeah, first match tomorrow, match of the week. Tune in.
Yep, definitely make sure you're here tomorrow.
Hopefully, it will be a very fun match. Even if it's not a close match, we always favor Garm. Last time we said the same, right? We were at the point where Garm was stomping everyone, and even I, who had Flash as the number one team for the regular season in my worldwide predictions, I said, okay, Garm is stronger. Garm should 2-0 today, and then Flash got the 2-1. Yeah. So everything is possible. Garm didn't look too clean last week against Eagles.
Yeah, that's true. Garm has shown cracks in their armor, which is not something they do very often. Particularly, I mean, Levi, again, he hasn't had the best split. He's had a pretty bad split. And again, I want to quantify that. He's had a bad split for Levi. Because he should be pretty much the best player in the league by a while. And I'd say he's the second best jungler at the moment. So that's a bad split for him. Of course, for most players, bloody good split. But that is the world of, having high expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's even an argument to be made that he's like the second best jungler without contests. I think Sorn and DNK both have something to say about that. You could tie all three players at second place if you want. I think Yijin is the best right now, but we should go back to this.
We should,
matchup.
We went down.
To be having we had a little bit of extra time. Teased our match of the week, but now it's time for the second best match of the week, I'd say. Team Secret against Cerberus, very important for the standings. Code, it seems to be playing today. Where's that Venus? No, it's Hanian. I'm sorry. Mr. Kim there.
I mean, to be fair,
Venus had a new hairstyle.
I'm pretty sure the only face I can consistently recognize in the VCS is Hani, because every time I open Discord, there's about 30 pictures of his face in the general channel, because this Discord doesn't move on.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of Discord, if you're new to the stream, scroll down a little bit and check out our community at Discord. Maybe check out some other options as well. There's some cool options you can support us with if you like what you're hearing. And of course, in the Discord, we have a very fun community. Also, we have a prediction game, which if you just joined, you can't win anymore, but maybe you can steal a week or something and
pretty prestigious.
Embarrass us all for.
I mean, while we've got a little bit of extra time, we can have a look at who people have this week, particularly for this series. It's pretty team secret.
We don't have any extra time anymore.
Oh, you are. Yep, there we go. Straight into Champ Select, right as I come up with an idea, but never mind. Can't say I'm complaining about getting into it. So, immediately, Elise and Olaf are gone. So the high priority, not happening.
Nope. Elise and Olaf on still open, Set still open, and we are on 10.5. So Set received a big nerf. Also, another interesting thing to comment on, YT is in instead of LL.
That is interesting.
That is YT is the secondary top laner, and he has only played 4 games so far in the season. But he started the last time they played against VGA. He was the starting top laner as well. So it's interesting to see. They seem to experiment with their top lane a little bit more.
Yeah, and
Set still receives the ban.
Yeah, I think he is still strong. Honestly, even on 10-5, I think he's fine. But the Pantheon gets snap locked in. I mean, there's a lot of super high priority champions open. These bans were target bans all over the place. These were not tier list bans whatsoever.
Yeah, Aphelios received another nerf as well. I'd say Senna is firmly the most important ADC right now.
I would 100%
so it's very good
agree.
to see Senna prioritized here for Secret. Also, probably the best possible champ for the celebrity. So it's once again a fasting Senna. Here we go. And Cerberus does not look at the other two ADCs that had high priority throughout the whole season. So no MF, no Aphelios. We have Senna versus Varus in the bot lane.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that sort of suits the Varus. Yeah, I mean, I think the Varus is pretty happy, but again, I think the Senna bot lane is probably the most broken thing on the patch. Probably.
Yeah, it is super strong. I haven't seen enough 10.5 in competitive to judge. I think this is the first big region to go to 10.5. So we actually ahead for once. Usually LEC is the first one to go to the new patch. So new patch, of course, included more turret plates, a lot of buffs for bruises in the top lane. So I'm super excited to see what YT wants to go with here in the top lane. Maybe he has prepared some Fiora, some Camille even.
Yeah, I think Camille.
Some lane bullies are stronger in this patch.
I think Camille definitely also received similar buffs in the same vein as Fiora. I think Fiora probably came out happier, but yeah, I think it's good. I'm not.
Camille like to build the Hydra as well, especially on super aggressive builds. And that Hydra just received 6% lifesteal. That is so much. It's 50% more lifesteal than the patch before. That one item got such a huge buff. So I think 2 item power spikes for Camille and Fiora. They built the same 2 items, but in different order. It's quite interesting. Fiora goes Hydra into Trinity, and of course Camille goes Trinity into Hydra. But yeah, those 2 champs on 2 items are split-pushing monsters.
Absolutely. And there it is.
Look at this.
This is not a weird pick in the VCS. This is meta.
Yeah, it is. Wow, what is going on? Cerberus.
Whoa.
Yes. Do you know what we got here?
This is top lane Kalista.
Yeah, it is top
lane Kalista.
It's the Shy special.
Here we go.
Top lane Kalista. Let's go. Look at this draft. This draft is
all right.
crazy.
Cerberus. I'm a Cerberus fan now. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. YT. Can YT do what the Shy does?
So Shy went 2-0.
And he went 2-0. He went big.
I think the first game was quite poor from the whole team. IG almost threw the first game, but then the Shy just went to side lane all the time. The enemy team didn't know what to do, but he died a few times. The second game, though, was utter domination. He ended with 6k more than the enemy top laner. That was a big stomp. So that's probably also the reason why YT is starting today. He prepared something very special for Hani.
Yeah.
And it's Kalista top into Hani. That is potentially the best you can ever hope for.
I think Irelia is probably one of the melee top laners best suited to beat the Kalista.
Yeah.
But again,
at least she can catch up to it.
I don't know if maybe if this was, some of our higher caliber top laners, particularly playing the Irelia, I might say, well, the Irelia could actually catch the Kalista out and blow them up. But it's Hani. Is Hani going to go for all-ins successfully? As the
successfully
caveat.
Is the important word there. Yeah, who knows? He didn't look too great last week on the Rumble against Irelia, so that was actually the champ Hasmet piloted to carry the last game of the series, the Irelia that is. So Hani learned a little bit from Hasmet. I'm quite surprised they're willing to put Hani on Irelia and not Coated. If they want to play carry top, just play Coated, honestly. A little bit confused. But I have to say, both team compositions look absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
We have the top side for Team Secret is super interesting. We have a very strong lane bully Jace with Shyvana in the jungle, so a lot of burst damage, a lot of long range poke. Could actually see some nukes in the mid lane where you just snipe the enemy mid lane, and he had no idea, has no idea what hit him, from where it hit him, and he's just dead. Sadly, it's a Pantheon, so not quite as easy, but we'll have to see if they are able to find some snipe kills. So far, AP Shyvana, very strong pick for this league for some reason.
I don't understand
why.
Ooh, hang on.
Only
I have to
really
go
picked
AFK for one
VCS, but
sec. Someone is banging on my door. Apologies.
Oops. No problem. I'll look at the drafts a little bit more. We have Pantheon jungle, actually, of course. So I was completely off. I thought the Pantheon was in the mid lane, but of course it's Karma mid lane, so that's a little easier to kill. So the first stack goes over to Celebrity. Very good start. It's also Varus and Yuumi in the bot lane. That is a very unusual bot lane. Not a whole lot of escape tools. Usually you want to play Varus with either a very strong lane bully like the Karma to just farm turret plates and mine some gold, or you play Varus with Tahm Kench and save yourself, and Tahm Kench saves the Varus. So those are the two options. Usually Varus Yuumi can potentially dominate the Senna Tahm Kench as well, but it's not quite as easy. I like Varus into Tahm Kench as an idea, because Tahm Kench gets punished by HP auto attacks, which Varus has, or HP effects.
Ooh, DNK and Juhao on a collision course. I'm back, by the way. DNK securing the big chicken and 2 of the chicken nuggets. Well done.
Yeah, in his own jungle, though, so it's not that big of a
win.
Well,
I mean, stopping a Pantheon engage.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you're pretty happy.
So top lane Kalista is pushing in the wave. She needs to be a little bit careful now with DNK pathing towards top side. But Hani is still level 1, so there's not that big of a threat posed to YT.
I mean,
also we can
DNK is not a super big ganking threat at this point. It's a Kalista with a Shyvana that's just going to kind of jog at you.
Yeah, she can kite her forever. I mean, if the flawless duet lands, you have a chance to catch up.
That's something I was thinking about in Champ Select. I didn't quite bring it up, but I'm actually not sure how this Irelia counter against Kalista goes, because she can just hop the flawless duet. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, it depends a little bit on how quick she can hop away. I think she needs at least boots to be able to avoid the flawless duet stun.
Probably.
Her early game hops are not very fast, as you can see. So I think if Hani is well versed in this matchup, we have
the dive is being set up. Hani's in some trouble here. YT taking a tower shot that I don't like. Juhao, though, has aggro, will be able to use that E. And first blood for YT on the Kalista top. It's off to a good start.
It is. And another plating as well, I think. So that's already 560 gold for free, pretty much, for the Kalista. Hani is
he's sweating.
Looking at a very hard game for itself.
He is sweating.
That is, did Irelia profit from this patch a lot? I don't think she actually did too much, because her core items didn't get buffed too much. You can go for, in solo queue maybe, you can go for some more aggressive builds. I don't think you can actually afford to go for super aggressive 2-item power spikes in competitive. If you get accelerated and get a lot of plates early on, you could look at potentially a Blade of the Rune King or something. But yeah, this dive is very easy to execute. 5 stacks on Juhao. Flash W. Actually interesting that he started with. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you can get back to 5 stacks very quickly, so you can stack up your E once again. And another interesting change in this patch that happened, they actually prevented YT from getting the first turret plate. Ranged champs get a punishment for early Harris on the turret. You don't deal a lot of damage to turrets as a ranged champ. I forgot the threshold. I think it's like 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yeah,
but
for when
before that
drops,
minute mark. Yeah.
But I still
before that minute mark.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No.
I still think that's one of the least elegant nerfs Riot has ever made. Where you just say, top and mid tower are different to bot because goddamn lane swap. Stop it.
It's true.
And the result was
wanted,
good, but it was very, very inelegant.
No, but they specifically added another thing in this patch. So there was always the fortification for turrets, of course, in top and mid lane. They couldn't push too quick. I think they actually got rid of the fortification with turret platings, right? At least after some time. Oh, he is able to dodge this one.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even need boots. So, well, it's not a fun time in the top lane for Hani.
No, already 20 CS, a kill, and tower plates down. This is a bit of a disaster. Had the counter pick. I think they just weren't expecting it to come out. Honestly. I think Secret's been completely blindsided.
So if you're wondering what the Serret Dirk is going to go into for Kalista, it's of course the Sanguine Blade. The other has to flash.
Ooh, yeah.
Artifact.
Ooh, yeah. Wow, you are a little bit ahead. Just so you can pause for a few moments. As Mountain Drake will be secured for Secret, so getting something back, but it's still an 1100 gold lead. Nearly said 11k gold lead. That would be aggressive at 6.5 minutes. That would be really, really aggressive.
Look at the Kalista. It's feasible. Well, yeah. Team Secret needs to find a way to stabilize top lane, or they just sack Hani completely. But then it's pretty much a 5v4.
Can they get the gobble? They get the gobble here. Varus is spat out and dead, and Venus will pop the shield. He will be just fine. Wow. That was
Tom Kench.
That was a messy dive, but Tom Kench is a pretty strong boy when he's got a giant's belt at 7 minutes.
He tanked 2 more turrets than he should be able to.
Yeah.
Varus probably felt really bad about this one. Also, Ronopi didn't use his exhaust. That could have been a kill. And Ronopi's just dead.
Yep, DNK has found the cat, and in scenes of...
Wait, what?
DNK? Okay.
E cooldown should have been.
It should have been
almost ready
easy.
Again. That is a little bit surprising.
Now
Zuhao.
Yeah, Zuhao's in a little bit of trouble here, but there's the cheeky binding. One of the things I love about top lane Kalista is you can be cheeky with who you bind.
Great.
Saves the jungler. Not how you ideally want to use it at level 6. You want to use it for a gank, obviously, but just as good, right? To save a kill, to get a kill, works.
Yep. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for them, of course. It's one of the easiest dive setups in the game. You have Kalista and Pantheon. Pantheon has 2 tools to deny turret damage. One, you can use his E, of course, for 1.5 seconds. And then after the 1.5 seconds, after the turret has stacked up his damage, you just use your Kalista ultimate. There's another little dive attempt in the bot lane.
They're coming down
not
there.
Quite far enough.
Hasn't quite found anything, and this fasting center is still getting off to a very good start here. So we do see Celebrity taking a few CS. I think that's okay. Particularly, I think what might have been happening there is he said, I'm 100 gold short of an item. So they wanted to get a better back timing, which I think is completely valid.
Yeah, some people are still debating if you would want to actually play full support, so you don't want to almost never want to get any CS, or do you want to maximize gold and try to still maximize souls? So I know Ender is a big proponent of taking 2 CS per wave. I haven't actually seen a competitive center do that.
It's very hard to coordinate, I think. A lot of brain power.
There have been a few centers who just stop playing support, like at 20 minutes or something, and then full CS. I'm not the biggest fan. I have to say, I like the full support center a lot. I think there's a lot of value in
Don't you start getting no gold from your sickle once it's fully upgraded?
No, you actually don't get from the sickle. Yeah, you don't get gold from the sickle. That's true.
So it's like, I mean, yeah, it is. Oh, wow. Look at YT up here with that Rift Herald charging. He gets first tower. That's another 600 gold in the Kallista's pocket. And he is nearly double Hani's gold. This is brutality. And that might, like, if they can snowball off this, how do you come back?
But I have to say, I'm actually not the biggest fan of using Rift Herald early.
Yeah, because now they can catch. catch waves.
Yeah, now Hani can just try to freeze at his turret. So of course there's a counter freeze available for YT, but we don't really see freezes too much from aggressive from the leading teams. So we'll have to see if YT is able to still exploit Hani here, or if Hani will just bounce waves and catch CS, because that's what happens a lot in these kind of situations. And Kalista is not the greatest ganker. You can't now just have Kalista roam mid lane. Nothing will happen. So she needs to exploit a 1-on-1 matchup. Hani is pushed in the wave, but Kalista will answer with a counter push. So yeah, I think Hani's actually feeling better about this situation now. His turret didn't really do anything for him, especially didn't prevent him from dying to dives.
Yeah.
So now he can be a little bit more safe. And YT, the onus is on YT to further accelerate the game and break open.
You know something I wouldn't mind right now? I don't think they'll do it, but I think this is something that could be clever. Swap Kalista mid.
Have her...
Just have her push the mid lane, bully the Jace, and then send Karma top, who just catches waves, and they can just ping pong.
Yeah. Very interesting idea. I think you usually don't think about that as a pro player here, because Kalista likes her long lane to chase to get the kills. But I think it would be a good call, and now she's just she moved into the mid lane to contest the second dragon.
This is definitely just a dragon play.
Secret.
Can they get the smite? No, Shyvana will secure it. She's in dragon form, gets a big chunk onto Yardo, and Artifact's going to try and chase that one down. Hani is massively caught out down the bottom side, though, and YT's dead. The big power point for Cerberus. This is all going wrong. 2 of them are dead. They didn't even get the dragon. The Pantheon will jump away. Juhao, go pick up your cat, please. And only 2 of them get out. They didn't get the Drake, and it's all gone a bit pear-shaped.
That was horrible for Cerberus. Yep. So you don't pick this composition to teamfight around dragons.
No.
You really don't. And Pantheon also betrayed his top laner there, big time. I'm not sure if you caught it on the play, but he used the Fate's Call in the other direction to attack Hani on the other side. But Hani was basically dead. So he should have tried to get a little bit more CC in for his top laner, who was 1v3 or 1v4 even. So big betrayal in the fight here from the Fate's Call. Look at YT. So YT tries to get a lot of spears into Venus, but Venus is tank can't.
Yeah.
So he can tank forever. Now YT...
He's so caught out.
They need... And then DMK bursts, Venus bursts.
I think in this fight, you need to pretend YT is your AD carry. Surely.
Yeah, I think so.
At this point, the Varus isn't doing much at this stage of the game, and your Kalista is so far ahead. Equal highest level in the game, has already got the Sanguine Blade, which is ridiculous. So I think you have to, Yuumi should be on her. You should have tanks in front of her. Varus can throw an ult. Yeah, that's all he has to do.
Which tanks are you talking about?
I said Pantheon. Didn't I? Did I misspeak?
I thought you said tanks.
I might have misspoke. I meant Pantheon, who is pretty tanky when he presses E. Doesn't take much damage.
Yeah, I think Cerberus's judgment was just a little bit off. They really wanted to contest the dragon and didn't think about the team fight setup. That was not optimal for them, especially with Hani kind of deterring a lot of the engage from the other side and also functioning as a bait, because Hani is not doing anything right now, right? So Hani was just sitting there, and a lot of members for Cerberus turned their attention on Hani and left YT to his own devices.
Look at this.
It really didn't work out for them.
This is brutal. He's just going to get an inner tower, and there's nothing Hani can do.
It's still even goal for the teams.
Here's the roam, though.
Great in an even situation.
That's the exhaust. We know what happens when Kalista gets exhausted, and YT will go down. Hani gets on the board, a bit of gold back in his pocket. So that's very nice for him. But they with that rotator, no. That's really bad. They can't get the mid lane tower. No, not again. The nukes and the flash forward. The dragon finds more food, and oh no, Cerberus. Oh,
AP
no.
Is so OP. so OP. VCS is actually the strongest region in the world right now. The only ones who know that know the power of the dragon.
I can't tell. Is AP Shyvana actually good, or is the VCS just this backwards
every
world?
Game I watch her, she looks insanely strong. Insanely strong. I am. Wow. That was not okay. That was really not okay.
Something we sort of missed because we didn't look at it is this is a lethality Varus from Cerberus. He's got Comet and he's already got the Umbral Glaive.
I've heard on multiple different accounts now that the lethality Varus hard counters Senna. I'm not sure why that is, but I've heard it before.
Zhu Hao very caught. The nukes are raining in straight from the dragon's mouth. Jesus, we need... Oh, my God. No. Oh, look at all the poke.
They have families. It's so disgusting.
This is genuinely just... what's this comp? The World War One... This is like the World War One trench comp. You just throw things at them. Just shell
the enemy
them.
Team has no... the enemy team is still in the Middle Ages and has no idea what's hitting.
Yeah, maybe it's like the Middle Age siege comp because it's just trebuchets, just constantly firing. I don't know. We'll have to think of a better name. Oh,
look at that damage!
Look at that.
he almost missed this.
He barely hit it.
Yeah. And then Jace is here as well. Bam! Oh God, it's quite disgusting. It reminds me a lot of the Seek and Destroy comp from G2 last year. The very first game.
Here we go. We're back. Cerberus again, getting a little bit caught out, but the Fate's Call gets value, get Zhu Hao out of there. But this is a third dragon for a team with Shyvana. This is getting scary real quick.
And they really can't contest.
No, God, no, they're too chunked.
Really Zhu Hao with a lucky punch there, but yeah, not quite. And yeah, this game.
Oh no! Yano just evaporates. Artemis should be going down as well. Boom! The bombs are raining in, and pow, pow, pow. D&K is taking him down. Artifact dives in with his friend Tom Kench, and the cat will go down to the bombs. YT gets a meaningless kill. Zhu Hao dives in, gets another one. Can they turn this? I don't think so, because YT's dead. What is going on?
It's so absurd. Wow. AP Shyvana, ladies and gentlemen. This
is 18 minutes. She does half a health bar.
I like your World War One trench war. If you look at your itemization, of course, we've seen a lot of this. This is the standard AP. I'm not even sure how I can say this in a sentence. It's the standard AP build.
What a sentence.
Second item measures too.
So we've gone this week. We casted a game of the LPL. It was really exciting, and now we've gone to saying the sentence standard AP Shyvana.
Yep.
It's an interesting world, isn't it, Yulwei?
It is. Also, just want to point out a very interesting item, the Gun 4, which is first item, Blade of the Rune King on Aurelia.
That is very interesting. It did get buffed from LA's.
New buffs.
Yep, it got pretty big buffs.
Another 50% buff. They went hard on those buffs. Yeah, they really did. It was 50% lifesteal buff for the Hydra and 50% damage buff for the on-hit effect for Blade of the Rune King, of course, from 8% current HP to 12% current HP. So some people were talking about Renekton, Blade of the Rune King Rush, where you deal 3 auto attacks, of course, with the empowered W. Yeah. Then you have 36% current HP damage.
Yeah, I saw the theory crafting of if you go buffed Blade of the Ruin King and buffed Ravenous Hydra on Renekton, do an empowered W into an auto attack reset, just kill someone.
Yep. Another one that has popped up a little bit is full lifesteal Warwick.
Yeah,
Jet talked about that in his podcast. I want to see that. I don't think it will be happening. Oh no!
The Shyvana is approaching. The artillery is here. I don't know how much they're going to get out of this dragon without a minion wave. Cerberus gets very far back as YT is sieging the turret. Hani reckons he can have a go, and with the support across the map, not that I think he needed it, Hani hard wins that 1v1, and that's a disaster for Cerberus.
It's really, that's the final nail in the coffin. They can't even side limit. They can't ever hope to win the poke war. I don't think any team composition could win.
To be fair,
war against this
is
very
this a poke
disgusting
war?
composition here.
Is this a poke war?
I guess it's not poking, it's just destroying
I don't
the
think
enemy.
this is a war. This is a war crime.
Yeah, okay.
This isn't fair. Just thinking.
Sure about that one.
Oh, yeah. Zhu Hao, I mean, he's going for the miracle steal here, right? This is your...
Hello? Can you kill him, please?
They really are waiting. They want to see if they can get a later reset timer. As the Yumi ult comes out, Baron is secured. Do they have the dragon? Yes, they do.
Souls.
They need to run. Oh, she's not getting the souls because she wants to get kills. Yado loses half his health to 1E. Luckily, though, Ron OP patches him back up.
So it seems like every AP Shyvana game, we can just, whenever we see the AP Shyvana pick, we can all AP for the game, right? I think we haven't seen a single game with AP Shyvana that she won, where we didn't give the MVP to the AP Shyvana.
I mean, it's a super hard carry. I also find it very funny, and this is because I'm looking at chat, that we have now 4 clips that have been made of AP Shyvana Keck W.
Yeah, and there's more. There will be more opportunities in this game. Look at her.
Oh, yeah.
She's
get ready. Get your
absurdly
crack
strong.
your knuckles, Peng, because you're going to be making a lot of clips of AP Shyvana this game.
Yeah.
As Zhu Hao does manage to secure a red buff, but I don't know if you want to walk forward here, man. This is super dangerous. Celebrity and Venus here. Hani on the flank. The W doesn't hit. They won't be able to lock them down. But here's an angry dragon. The center ult comes out. Down goes Zhu Hao. Hani diving forward. YT doing his best to kite. But boom goes the dynamite and he goes down. Yado goes. Ron OP, the poor cat, the last one. And she gets eaten by the catfish. And
actually, Artifact is in contention for MVP. He has hit some very good Jace keys.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe if we want to be, maybe if we don't want to be boring and pick the AP Shyvana.
Yeah, I actually think there's a legitimate claim for Artifact here. 7-1 and 4, 11 KDA. And also contributing to a lot of damage. Maybe you can see the damage charts and see which of the two dealt more damage.
Yeah, I think it'll be close. I definitely think, it's not a super easy decision for MVP at this point, but maybe there'll be a few team fights before this game is out that can sort of decide.
To be fair, DNK is sitting on a 15 KDA, so even higher than that. More kill participations as well. So yeah,
we'll see.
And look at Celebrity, 790.
Yeah.
He's everywhere.
Yeah,
he's at 100% kill participation in the game.
I mean, he's part of this poke. He's been hitting some sick ults, right? Yeah. He chunks just as hard with that Dawning Shadows. But we'll save the MVP discussion for after the game because we've still got. I mean, I don't think Cerberus is coming back, but we've still got got a lot of poke to watch, and I'm totally down for it.
Do you know what is the best case scenario for a poke composition? It's the Infernal Soul. There we go.
This will actually just be one. Like, I think there's potentials for one shots. I think if Ron OP gets hit, I think
Artifact could one shot Ron OP.
Yeah, if Ron OP gets hit off his carry, I think he just dies.
And even Artemis goes down to like 300-400.
Can you imagine for a second if they get Elder?
No, please no.
DNK will fire the nuke. Artifact will do it at the same time, and we'll have 6 dragons on the rift for a moment. As and they're going for the last ditch engage. Zhu Hao has regretted his life decisions as DNK is in dragon form. Can we see the bombs come out? My God! Artemis stops existing. Hardy's pushing in the mid lane. YT is doing everything he can.
Good block.
Another chunk. Yeah, very good block because Artemis was not surviving that one. And now Team Secret will take
to start the
a
week.
third
My God.
inhib. I was having a bad day today. You've turned it around for me, Secret. Thanks. You're saving my mental health. I love it. Oh, sorry, the stream quality did tank there for a moment. Hopefully we don't miss anything while I reset.
Jace did another EQ combo on Varus. Varus has to go back to base.
Yep, here we are. We need to wait, see if DNK can get another ult. We all want to see a bit more of the dragon. I think he will. He's got a very full rage bar.
Yeah.
Ooh, the stream is a little bit dodgy on my end. But can he chase down Zhu Hao? Not quite. He's very close to the full fury. Can he jump into dragon form? Here we go. I think he might be a little bit ahead, but can the nukes come out? I'm just looking for these nukes. Callista will get the first kill, Zhu Hao being chased, and there's the bombs being launched. That's another kill here for DNK. On the fountain, he gets another one. Harney diving in, and it's a triple. It's a quadra. You did spoil it just a little bit, but here we go. Quadra kill for the dragon, and I think with the last little bit, he does get MVP.
Yep, he does. Well, that was a game. We were quite worried for Team Secret after the early start of top lane Callista.
So when do the scrims end?
When someone finally hits the ban Shyvana button.
I think she's going on the bench next game. If they let him pick that again, I don't even know what to say. I'd love to know, because obviously I don't speak any Vietnamese. I'd love to know what the Vietnamese casters are saying. Are they just saying, yes, the completely standard Shyvana? We know exactly what's going on there.
At this point.
It is standard, right? At this point, I think we have to start saying it's not a curveball. And if you're a VCS team, you have to be ready for it.
Yeah, that was the 8th Shyvana game. She's not a one-off. This champion is legitimate. She's sitting at number the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 8th most played jungler, which doesn't sound like much, but this was the 89th game of the season, so there are some other junglers way below her in terms of play rate, and everyone is below her in terms of. She is killing it.
She's absolutely slaying.
Absolutely killing it.
It's ridiculous. Maybe that's why they picked the Pantheon. Use that Dragon Slayer skin. Didn't really work out. The dragon definitely won that bout. And I mean,
she didn't die once.
I think
really not a successful.
So one thing to comment on about the broader team comp from Secret, and I actually liked it, is they really lent into the poke comp, right? Like they had the AP Shyvana, which is obviously poking with nukes. They had Jace as well, Senna to support them if there was a team fight, and obviously her ult is really good at finishing off the people that have been poked. I really like the comp they assembled.
Too.
Yeah. Exactly.
Aurelia is very good at chasing off low HP targets and getting resets on kills as well. So yeah, the very cool composition, very fun to watch. Not fun to play against, I imagine. That looked quite hopeless.
I think
this game was more like they tried to channel their inner Skyrim heroes, but sadly they went straight from the tutorial to the first dragon fight, and that's
it's like
that's not going to work.
It's not a dragon, but it's like in Skyrim when you first get control of your character and you walk out of the forest, and that giant just yeets you into the air, and you go about 300 meters in the air. That was Cerberus tumbling and smashing into the ground.
Oh man.
So yeah,
and we have no timer today. That is a little bit worrying, but we should be back in like 8 minutes. MVP. DNK once again. Yeah, junglers have a very easy time getting MVPs in the VCS because they pick AP Shyvana and then
I think there was a little bit of tech issues on the Vietnamese stream, just based on what a few things were said in our Discord. So they might be fixing that. But as soon as we have a timer, we'll put one up and we'll try and keep you posted in chat. So please do stick around. We always love having you here. And get ready to see if we can match the fun of game one.
More AP Shyvana.
Please, more AP Shyvana. Can Secret close it out, or will Cerberus bite back? We'll find out in time. We don't have a timer. See you guys in a bit.
Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back, everybody, for the second game here of Cerberus taking on Team Secret. And after what I think was one of the most enjoyable games, maybe not the best game, but certainly very enjoyable, we are back. Hopefully we are actually back. And, oh, nope, we've got another timer. So,
okay, whatever.
We can talk through it. We can talk through it.
Yeah.
Only 2 minutes.
Whatever that new thing is, please give us a timer from the start. That was a little bit weird.
It's tricky when it's tech
but
issues,
now we
right?
should be yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we should be back soon. So get ready for the next game. So for the last game, I felt a little bit bad, especially for Cerberus. So I went to in the pause. I went and ate some oranges, and now I'm K again. So let's hope Cerberus did the same.
That was so. I had no idea where you were going with that, and I never would have predicted that was where it was going. I think
I love oranges.
That's true.
I eat them every day.
They are probably my third favorite fruit.
Yeah, they are the grapefruit. What's your favorite?
Mangoes. Mangoes are high.
Mangoes sadly don't really taste great.
I can imagine you can't get them very fresh, but we grow them in Australia.
Yeah. I ate a mango in Peru once.
Oh, that'd be delicious.
That was a great mango.
And then bananas are number 2. Bananas are just solid all-round fruit. So I think one saving grace here for Cerberus, even though they did get pumped, there's no denying that they got pumped. This is a bit of a cheese comp.
Yeah, from both sides. So
well, I think particularly from Secret. I don't think Callista Top is a cheese pick. I think it's just a strong lane bully.
She's a very strong lane bully, but they put everything in the Callista basket. They had They had the Karma mid lane to facilitate Callista. They had double ADC with double supports. It's a very old concept. It's very successful in the game mode. What was it called? Hexakill?
Hexakill, where you had 6 players.
You have 6 players, yeah. So I'm not sure if it can definitely work for 5v5.
Yeah.
It works best if you go for mid lane ADC and then top lane tank and maybe a supportive champion jungle.
I do agree.
The supportive mid laner is... Yeah, you don't have any front line, and we saw them struggle to fight against the poke, of course, especially in the one dragon fight that it went horribly bad for Cerberus, where they basically lost the game, right? Because if you think back to the start of the game, Cerberus was up in gold.
Yeah, quite a lot. YT had double Harney's and double Harney's gold. It was really absurd.
Yeah, he had 5k in gold, while Harney had 2.5. So yeah, it all looked like Callista Top would be able to carry, but then...
And yeah, I mean, I still think Callista Top's not a cheese pick. The comp was a bit cheesy because it was all in on the Callista, which is also quite silly because realistically you don't want to 5v5 with that comp. You stick the Callista in the side lane.
You actually... Yeah, I think they thought about Callista as an ADC too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, in this kind of comp, Callista is not really an ADC. Of course, she still is an ADC technically, but you have to look at her as a Camille, as a Fiora. She's a split pusher. She doesn't want to join fights.
Exactly.
She's maybe a little bit better in team fights than Fiora, for example, even from top side. But you don't really want to play through team fights because you will always run into the trouble of having no real front line, no real battle lines. So, yeah, I think they fell into the trap of thinking Callista is an ADC and you have to facilitate the ADC, while they had to play Callista as a top laner. So
okay.
I want to see the Callista again, of course, but maybe
I think YT can. I wouldn't hate YT picking it again. He looked good on the Callista. He did. I think he knew what to do because we saw him at times just saying, "Hey."
He's jungler as well.
Yeah. I think we saw him at times just going, I know Harney can't come near me, so I'm just going to take the tower easily.
Yeah. Good dive setup as well.
Yeah, exactly. But YT's out. LL has come back in. Maybe a little bit harsh for YT, unless they just brought him in to play the Callista. It's altogether possible.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I think LL is the starting top laner. They prepared something out of the left side just to maybe cheese the game and then play. If you win this game, I think you play YT again. Maybe go for Callista again. At least draw a Callista ban. and then play through another champ for white. He's not a bad player,
Okay.
but I think Al is a little bit more solid and a little bit more well-rounded. So makes sense if you don't want to go for the strategy again. It makes sense to sub in your main top laner.
I completely agree. So, and I think, do you ban Shyvana? I think you have to at this point.
Kind of have
Is she pick ban?
She's not quite at the big band stage. So I don't think every jungler can play her. Zhu Hao has not shown us a Shyvana. I think it's DNK, Yijin, Levi, and Kuroko mostly.
Yeah.
So 4 of the 8 junglers play Shyvana. Maybe Zhu Hao can surprise us here, but we start again with very LPL-like draft with Elise and Olaf priority. I think Vietnamese teams have been scrimming LPL teams because this is very akin to the LPL draft.
Possible. It's, if not scrimming them, definitely I think watching them, because it's looking like, a bit of an LPL. Senna will be banned this game though, so we already do have one change.
Finally.
Yeah, deny that fasting Senna.
She's too strong, this patch. She is quite OP. I think with the Aphelios nerfs, Senna and MF should be the priority ADCs. Aphelios is obviously still playable, still quite strong, but not quite as much of an especially turret shredder as he was before. So yeah, I think Aphelios should be like the 3rd highest priority ADC. Senna by far the highest priority.
Yeah, and we will have to see what they started off with. Renekton has drawn a ban. The Blitzcrank ban, I super question. Ron OP has played it a few times, but I just don't think the champion's good enough to not ban over something like Misfortune or the Aphelios, who I still think is strong on this patch. Maybe not completely busted. Or even this Syndra, though of course Secret got their hands on that. But I wouldn't...
Syndra is such an interesting champ for the VCS, because sometimes she's super high priority, sometimes she's even banned at first phase, and then we have multiple series in a row where she doesn't even see play. Yeah. So it's like VCS teams forget about her, and then sometimes they remember she exists and first pick her again. So this might be celebrity on the Syndra. I like him on the mage style champs.
Yeah, very possible.
But we have a super strong rotation coming in for Cerberus as well.
Yeah, that is something we did not comment on because I honestly forgot Set that could get through bans, as he's picked up here.
You forgot Set.
Could get through bans. I never forget my baby. Okay. My husband has been picked, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, you could get Thresh on here for Team Secret. On, of course, received some nerfs in 10.5. He's a little slower in the scaling department. You need level 13 for your items and level 14 onwards for the items for your teammates, of course. So it might actually fall out of meta in VCS, because VCS is by far the quickest lake. So we don't actually get to the super high levels.
Oh, yes! Woo! Here we go. Before we talk about that, I want to comment on the fact that I think Thresh is a fantastic pick here, because you pick it away from the Aphelios. I think Thresh is the strongest support to pair with Aphelios, so that's really smart. But we have another AP Shyvana. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of picking Nautilus into it, I have to say. I would have liked to see the Town Kench prevent the Aphelios from getting hit. The big nukes for AP Shyvana also protects him from the Syndra burst, so I would really like to see the Town Kench here. It's Nautilus, Aphelios, I don't like their synergy. They have a lot of aggressive tools, but almost no defensive capabilities, so... really not the biggest fan. Aphelios is also one of the champs with the lowest HP bar and HP values in the game. He got nerfed repeatedly for his base stats. So if DNK once again pops off with this Shyvana, Aphelios is will not have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the set is can LL. Presumably it is LL playing it. Could still be flexed mid or jungle, or even support. Hello, Tiger. Ooh, okay. So Sejuani. We've got a big front line already.
Yeah, that we have. We need another carry for Cerberus. Maybe a little bit more mobility on the... I would like to see something like Corki Zia could be an option for very strong front-to-back fighting. I would like to see a little bit more follow-up, though. Could also go Oriana to go... she's not banned, right? Yeah. Oriana set, very strong combination for ball carriage. So, yeah, a lot of options for Cerberus. Very standard front-to-back team fighting build here by them. And Team Secret... Oh, yes. This is going to be another very interesting...
This is going to be fun. Yeah... That is the Kalista being picked as an ADC, though, of course. Well, not necessarily. Could be Aatrox mid Syndra bot.
Could be.
I don't think
it's not likely, though. That said, Syndra Thresh is one of the strongest Syndra combinations, so I actually like Syndra Thresh a lot. I don't expect Hani to play Kalista top lane. That's a little bit too many mechanics for Hani. He's probably going to his tried and true Aatrox once again.
I'm not a fan of that pick. That's better. I'm okay with Zoe.
That's better. Not my favorite choice either. I would have really liked to see Control Mage with maybe a little bit of mobility. I think Corki would have been perfect for this composition. Honestly, Zoe provides a little bit more early power, falls off more compared to other Control Mages. She's not really a Control Mage, so. Provides a little bit more pick power, and if she gets ahead, you can snowball very quickly with this composition, and then Aphelios gives you the DPS in the late game that Zoe lacks. So it's not a bad pick, definitely not a bad pick. But wait a moment, Artifact on Kalista right now.
Okay, that's locked. Alrighty, we have, and this could be Hani swapping to the mid lane.
Yeah, I think so too. So Kalista, Artifact is of course one of the notorious mid lane ADC players. All the mid laners in VCS secretly want to play ADC, but are not allowed to. So they play Lucian, Tristana, and now Kalista apparently. So even more added to the champion pool of mid laners. Mid lane or top lane Kalista for Artifact?
I think it's top lane. I wouldn't want to play into Zoe on Kalista.
She's running the cleanse though, so that's indicating mid lane Kalista.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
In theory, you can dodge a lot from the Zoe. Zoe's spells are very fast though,
yeah,
so it's
that's
not
hard.
Too easy to dodge them.
I
think you can dodge Trouble Bubble pretty easily, but Petal Star not so much. And then there's more sparkles as well. So yeah, I think Yado should be fine in this lane, honestly. Tristana would have been the stronger ADC pick in this position.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, you can run cleanse into set purely to cleanse the ult, which would be actually that'd be a slick outplay on Kalista, right? Like you're kiting the set, he flash ults you to get on top of you, and instantly cleanse, and then start hopping again because he still travels, right? So you get distance again. That'd be pretty sick, but I don't think it is, as we do see Artifact in the mid lane.
By the way, I think the design for Kalista is one of the best in the game. She looks so cool. A ghost that throws spears is... I love her design. She's very...
Ooh,
very
there's
cool.
a hook. And it's not returned. As nothing comes of it, of course.
Yeah, not a very exciting hook. So DNK is now playing a Pokemon Shyvana style, where he can go back to the Pokeball with Artifact binding him. And that is, of course, another interesting... so she basically has two jumps, and usually on the AP Shyvana, you don't want to aggressively jump in, but this game, he can actually go for that. So he can jump in, a stationary target from very close range, so he can't miss, and then Artifact can pull him out, and he can reposition to a safer spot and poke from afar. So I really like this one. Shyvana sadly doesn't really resemble too many Pokemon, so I'm struggling to find one.
There's a dragon, right? Maybe Salamence or something?
Yeah, Salamence is closest, but Salamence does look a little different.
Come on, Nintendo, get your shit together. Got to have every league champion represented.
She's a little bit like the new dragon. Sadly don't know the English name. The new ghost dragon, Dracopult, I think it is. Yeah.
I don't know Sword and Shield.
I think it's Dracopult.
I don't know Sword and Shield because I can't afford a Switch.
A few early traits.
Donate to the stream so every day can play new Pokemon because I really want to. I want a shiny Wooloo. It's so cute. I really want a shiny Wooloo.
So early lane matchups shouldn't be too exciting. I think we should definitely keep an eye on the mid lane. Artifact won the first push and is at an HP advantage here. Only one stack remaining for Yado. So you can take a look at the runes. Everything looks the same here.
This is a bit of a run back.
Domination. Yeah, domination is definitely dominating this map. 4 out of the 10 players running domination. Everyone running, almost everyone running the what is it called? Blood something, where you get HP back.
Taste of blood.
Taste of blood. Yeah. And every single one of them running Revenant Hunter. Very balanced row, absolutely balanced. Revenant Hunter is a super strong rune, of course, so understandable. Actually think that Shyvana doesn't need it, though.
No, I agree. She actually doesn't. Oh, and a little bit of trouble here for the Callista. It comes in. Can we? Oh, we might see a bit of an outplay, but no. Wow. That was a bit.
He messed up his cleanse.
Yeah, he really screwed up his cleanse. As Artifact will give away the first blood. I think he cleansed the slow from Sejuani.
Oh, what?
And Artemis turning it around here. A lot of damage coming out of Aphelios. And there it is. He uses the arm wiggle to heal. Can he get away from Celebrity? No, Venus will pick up the kill with the Ignite. Celebrity needs to hit the legs, but can't because he's floating in the air and will be dragged back down to earth by Ron OP. And that is a 2-for-1 down in the bot lane. Every kill going to the support.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there for Celebrity. He could have gotten the kill. It wasn't close enough to channel. I think he even started the channel of the auto attack, but didn't complete because Ignite in the end got the kill on Artemis. I want to see the replay if Artemis actually deliberately tried to get a little bit more minion damage on himself, so he wouldn't give up the kill to Celebrity. That would be a super smart play.
Yeah.
Ronopi now 2-0. That's super annoying to play against, of course. It's Nautilus, but let's take another look. It starts off with a very strange grab.
Yeah, this is
through 2 minions.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was through 1.
Yeah, the first minion should have blocked.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird one. Might be a bit of a spectator bug. You know, we sometimes get that. And look at the arm wiggles doing so much damage. So best animation in the game when he goes full spaghetti boy.
Yeah. Ronopi picking up both of the kills. Not super great, but also not bad for them, of course. And now Cerberus off to only 300 gold lead. That's quite surprising. 3-1 in kills. There's a little bit of a CS advantage, of course, in the jungle, because DNK has been hard farming. He needs his items. Early on, AP Shyvana, not too great. That's one of the reasons she's actually not picked too much in pro play.
Yeah, she doesn't have much of the early impact, for sure. But look at this farm lead already. With a big farm
in the game
lead.
Right now.
Definitely super good.
So this game, she will struggle to secure the first dragon. I think, especially with Cerberus picking up 2 kills in the bot lane. I mean, Celebrity should still have priority with the mage in the bot lane over Aphelios.
Oh, here we go. There's good block by Ron OP, managing to stop that hook.
Yep. And now Shyvana is the starting dragon. So very, very nice priority for Team Secret. Bot lane is also able to reinforce and should be able to chase off Zhu Hao.
Yep, they do secure the Infernal. Rod OP playing an aggro, going straight in. We might have Venus being the sacrificial support. Are they tempted to turn it? I don't think it's a good idea. And in the end, it will just be Venus going down. A good trade for the dragon, considering you have a Shyvana.
Yeah. That's true. It's still a little bit of a problem in the next 2 minutes. Snowballing Sejuani is very, very scary. Sejuani can get to a level where no one can kill her in the mid game, especially if she gets 2-3 kills. And then, she also deals a lot of damage. Sejuani's base damages are quite excessive, especially on W and E. So, yeah, this is also a good start for Cerberus. I think both teams are fine with this dragon take. Cerberus was almost there to steal the dragon away as well. So Shyvana needs to continue a power farm and try to look maybe for a kill in the top lane where only armor is built.
Yep, absolutely. And Set up in the top lane, going very even here, has picked up the Bramble Vest, which is obviously fantastic into the Aatrox, lets you win those level 6 all-ins. But still, Set not the man he was last patch. I'm curious to see how it'll play out on the new one.
Yeah, I think he still has the big advantage in the Aatrox matchup, honestly. So should just be fine in this lane. We have seen a lot of sets transition to Bramble Vest first into Aatrox. Honestly, a lot of champs do that because, of course, Aatrox heals a lot, and it's way more efficient than going for Executioner's Calling, because Executioner's Calling sets you behind in terms of combat stats. You only get 15 AD for 800 gold, so that's really not worth it. You pay a lot for this for the extra effect. Okay, Venus once again in that position.
Yado hits the bubble, hits the bomb. Bad flash there, Celebrity. You were never getting away. The hook comes in. Can the dragon turn it? No, she cannot. Not even worth popping the ult. And Cerberus is off to a damn good start.
Yeah, great roam from Yado. Not spotted or communicated at all from Team Secret. They did not expect the bubble from behind. Celebrity no teleport either, so he will lose a significant amount of CS and experience over to DNK, who's quite happy to pick them up. Yeah, as a jungler, as a farm jungler, you're like, yeah, Lanus, you can die a little bit. I'll take your wave. I'll fix your wave. No problem. And of course, he's still on a very high CS number. But honestly, Zhu Hao has been able to keep up for all the ganking he's done so far in the early game. He's only 10 CS behind. That's not too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting. An artifact in the mid lane does get a lot of damage out of that Rend, and the Paddle Star can't quite find him. But this Kalista is not working as well.
No. It's quite sad to watch a Kalista lose an auto-attack trade against a Zoe. It's not supposed to happen, but of course Zoe with more sparkles deals a lot of auto-attack damage as well, so she doesn't even have to hit a lot of the spells early on.
Yeah.
And a little bit of armor for her. So the early surge Dirk doesn't really do too much for artifact. Only negating is something like 6-7 armor this early in the game. And the enemy mid laner has built something like 20-25 armor. So way less efficient item build. So Yado has the advantage.
This is why I think the mid lane Kalista is not as good. I think where it shines is bullying the melee top laners that just can't get onto her, which is so many top laners at the moment. I'd say most meta top laners don't have great engage at the moment. Ornn can't. I mean, Ornn does have great engage, but not in the 1v1 with Kalista. I think he's
Ornn against Kalista is something you never want to play as Ornn. So, yeah, I agree. Also, kind of question Artifact's item build. He's of course going for the Sanguine Blade once again. Not sure if that's actually a good option in this game. I think you're already quite behind, so might not be the game where you can split push for a long time. So Sanguine Blade loses a lot of its value if you're not in the 1v1 situation. Team fight with Sanguine Blade is basically throwing away a lot of your gold.
Absolutely.
So,
it's a massive waste.
Yeah, not the biggest fan.
I mean, I think they have to at some point swap and put the Kalista in the mid lane.
Yeah, of course, but no teleport on her, so she can't join fights. She really has to get off to a very strong mid game. Of course, looking at her CS, she's still far ahead. So at least in the CS department, she's doing great. But Yado has been roaming, so not a big surprise on his side. Oh wow, how did that hit?
Yeah, that was a bit interesting. Yado now has that glacial. A little bit cheeky. Wins the trade regardless. More sparkles is very, very good. Rift Herald
adding a lot of sparkles to this.
Absolutely, game. It is glimmering everywhere. As Rift Herald summoned up in the mid lane. Can't really do much about it, can Secret, as there are too many players from Cerberus. But she turns around and helps out.
Yeah. So Yado. Oh, can they protect another plate? It seems this plate should still go down. I'm not sure if it did, but no gold. If it did, no gold over to Cerberus. So they wanted to have priority over Dragon, and they should be able to pick up this Dragon. DNK has hit his first big power spike, but no boot. So once he's in, he's in.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to go straight forward, as that's a lot of damage coming over the wall. Set goes down. Ooh, the Inferno Ult doesn't quite clip Artifact. He manages to survive.
So it's a kill for Dragon. So the reverse trade from the first time. They attempted Dragon, of course. Kill went over to Artifact, which is, of course, the best target for Team Secret. Artifact and DNK have to carry this game if Secret wants to win. So, yeah, I said once she's in, but I forgot about Kalista also, of course. She was just pulled out again. That's a very nice, convenient tool to have for DNK, who's probably just going back to the jungle and farming some more.
Exactly. Here we see as that was a nice hook there onto Ron OP, and the Fate's Call got massive value. It was super close for that Inferno ult. Might have just tickled him to death. It would have been very close. But in the end, it was a dragon for a kill, and stopping Shyvana getting dragons is super valuable. Get even more on top of the dragon effect for yourself, and it's 1-to-1, so no dragon snowball.
Though I have to say, for AP Shyvana, Dragon is not that important because you only get defensive stats, right? And AP Shyvana doesn't really care about her. She just wants to poke from very far away anyway. So, yeah, it's still something you don't want to give up as Shyvana, but it's not super bad. As we see Crescendo still
Artifact taking so much damage. Does get the Lantern, though, so he's okay. Harney's arrived. I don't think they want the dive, though.
A lot of damage.
Yep, they will just go back to clearing the wave. Ooh. Yado goes for the poke, can't quite find it. DNK not hitting quite as hard as he was last game quite yet. And Team Secret does just have to back off. They got an extra tower plate, but that's not what they were coming for, I feel. Not quite worth the teleport.
They lost the turret in the bot lane as well, so more gold funneled into Artemis this time. He also was there for the gold in the mid lane, so quietly Cerberus has actually set up Artemis to get a lot of gold in the mid game. Looking at his items, he's quite far ahead of Celebrity.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very good setup or outlook for the later stages of the game for Cerberus, who I'd say have the way easier to execute team composition, and traditionally you would definitely say they outscale. It's always a little bit hard to assess scaling with some cheese picks like Shyvana jungle and Kalista mid lane. But I'd say Cerberus wins every front-to-back team fight in the late game, and almost every normal team other team fight as well. They might lose the side wave or the side lane and the split push battle, but will that be relevant? That's the big question here. And Scuttlecrab is.
Ooh, goes wide with the ult. Ooh, little bit of cheeky hook there by Ron OP. Knew exactly where Celebrity would end up after the Lantern. And that's a free kill here for Cerberus. Opens up the second Rift Herald. And Cerberus is looking like they want to take this to game 3.
Yep.
DNK going in, trying to use the suplex as an escape, but with the flash to confirm the knockup. Down goes LL. Not sure if the flash was necessary, but it's probably worth it just to make sure that the kill happens.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate to have the kill go to Hani. Of course, we want more gold on DNK. I don't think Hani can really do a whole lot in this game on the Aatrox. Can threaten kills on Artemis and maybe force a little bit of repositioning for him. Yado as well, but yeah.
Oh no! Once again, Ron OP coming in with a ridiculous hook, and Artemis says, "Sure, I'll snipe over here, easy." This is Ron OP is having a cracker of a game. Artifact goes very low, finally goes down, but he trades it for 2 kills as Celebrity really just came for the cleanup, and that was an ill-advised dive, and Cerberus throws away a super advantageous position.
Yeah. Absolutely unnecessary too. No minions. And Shyvana, not Shyvana. Sejuani is, of course, still far from tanky enough to survive that one. So just a free kill over to Artifact, and then another free kill over to Celebrity. I think he even got a shutdown there because the double kill went over to Artemis beforehand.
I think so.
Cerberus needs to be careful. They're still far ahead, 3k gold, and they have the easier to execute team composition. So they are still in a super strong spot, but don't do that too often.
Ron OP, again, just in a better position here. And this is an absolute cracker game. This dive was very unwise. Whoever called this definitely made a mistake. Zhu Hao instantly goes down. Artifact deals so much damage before he dies. And unfortunately as well, Mr. Aphelios, Mr. Artemis, had turret aggro, which is not great.
Yeah, because everyone else was already dead or had to run away.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Cerberus will get another
dragon
though.
will go over to Cerberus. Yeah, very easy dragon, of course, to pick up. There's no real way to steal this one for a Team Secret, and they're not even trying to go for a steal. I think it's a good call to have the Artifact push the top lane.
Yeah.
They're quick enough. They should be able to get this turret, but it seems like Artifact is a little bit hesitant to go for a full push.
They didn't know where Zoe was. I think once Zoe shows, he'll all in the tower because he's completely safe. But Rift Herald summoned up. This is an inner tower. This is not actually a good trade here for Secret. The mid lane now completely open in trade for the top lane. At least they're putting the Kalista in the side lane. That's a good sign. But they've got a lot more work to do.
If they get 2 turrets on Kalista,
DNK has gone into nuke mode. I don't think he's going to find enough, though, as they do get one more charge out of the Rift Herald, and Artifact is going to call it off and bug out of there.
So turret for turret. Gold-wise, that's favorable for Team Secret, especially because the gold is funnel, but of course Cerberus gets a lot more, and there's a big crack in the mid lane turret as well, so inhibitor turret, of course. So next push might yield the inhibitor turret and even the inhibitor very early on in the game, so overall, still a good move for Cerberus. They lost a little bit of the gold lead, and Artifact got stronger. Also collected a lot of solo experience. So there is now a world where Artifact can actually try to dominate this one in the side lane.
Yeah, definitely. Though traditionally, that's not what VCS teams do. VCS teams, we sometimes kind of hit the 20-25 minute mark, and they've been side laning really well, and then something in their brain just goes, 5v5 time, come on split pushes, Fiora, Kalista, let's go. And they just run at each other.
Fair point. Very fair point. Also, Team Secret is really not the team to play split push. They are not used to it. They've Hani in the top lane. He's the last person you want to have in the side lane split pushing. Because usually he's not winning his lane. So, yeah, they are the quintessential team fight team. We have to see if they can adapt their playstyle. This Kalista is not great in team fights, as we touched on earlier, because of the Sanguine Blade. Loses a lot of its value in team fights.
Yep.
So I think it's lethality and attack speed you lose when you're close to more than one person.
Correct. You definitely don't. It's a super big waste of gold if you do enter the team fights. You want to be playing around those side lanes as much as humanly possible. And I actually think this might be why I don't necessarily think the solo lane Kalista is a very good pick for Team Secret, because they're wanting to have Artifact play it because he's much better mechanically than Hani. Hani, we say this probably every week. Pretty much every time we mention Team Secret, we say this. Hani doesn't win lane. He either ints or survives lane and then is actually a pretty good team fighter. So you don't want to put him on the Kalista.
There's a reason that Hani is still playing professionally, but it's not his laning phase.
Oh, no. The catch out here. The Dragon Form will get him away, and the good fate's call there to dodge the Aphelios ult. But that's going to be Baron. This is a disaster for Team Secret.
Yeah, the communication was not clear enough. They could have used either Dragon call. They used both, which wasn't great. And now a lot of zoning from Yado. He tried to use the bubble as a zoning tool.
Ron OP has found another hook here. Venus is stopwatched in the front line, but here's the turn. Hani in the middle of the enemy team has done quite a lot of damage here, but he finally goes down to Zhu Hao, and Secret's got to get out. And something that's gone wrong here is DNK. He wants to be the big dragon, but there's too many tanks. Nautilus and Sejuani aren't dying. Yeah, that's also a big problem right now. I more meant in the game in general. Can Venus get a clutch hook? No! The dragon will fall. Truly, we have Zhu Hao doing his best Dovahkiin impression as LL under tower survives for far longer than we expected. But this...
the game is a little bit chaotic right now.
Yeah. And when a VCS caster says that, you know they mean it. This is a bit of a nutter. Artifact tries to turn this here. Oh, he dodges the hook. There's a lot of Ren stacks here. This is dangerous, but a big hit there. Oh, good cleanse. He can turn this around. Infernum ult. He's very low. Needs to lifesteal off the wolves, but no. Good hook by Ron OP, and that's the delayed ace for Cerberus. Oh boy.
They didn't get the Baron though, so at least Team Secret got the bare minimum of what they came for. They will give up another dragon, but at least Baron is still not knocked down for Cerberus. So a small victory for Team Secret. In the end, they had to give up more and more gold though. So it's looking quite bad for Team Secret. So it was quite an interesting approach, though. Artifact went to the mid lane to isolate LL and try to force the 1-1, which he is equipped to go for. And he won the 1-1 quite heavily, didn't quite get the kill. We had the picture-in-picture where I could see what was going on in the mid lane, and LL dropped down to like 200 HP or something. Then his passive kicked in, nerfed, but still does a lot of work. So he went back to like 400 or 500 HP. Too much for Artifact to dive him, so Celebrity had to come in to confirm the kill. A little bit unfortunate for Artifact there in the mid lane, but even if he had won the 1-1 matchup, I don't think that would have turned the fight, because LL didn't really participate anyway. So,
I mean, Secret has to go all in on Artifact. And by all in on Artifact, I mean you just have to keep them off him in the side lane. If you can. But here we go. Now, look who's gone all in on Artifact. Cerberus got the message as they murder him. And this is looking damn good for Cerberus. They haven't really grown their gold lead, though. That's one thing to keep in mind. It's been 3K for ages.
That's a very fair point. A lot of CS on all the members of Team Secret. But what are they farming for right now? It's not like they outscale anywhere. They outscale side lane maybe, if they can ever look for a setup in the side lane. But it's very unlikely from behind. So from behind, you pretty much are forced to always team fight. You can't really win the game.
Here we go. Set engaging. LL throws himself forward. He's taking a damn hell lot of damage. And it's traded for Venus. Not an even trade at the moment. Ron OP taking a lot. Can he find a hook? Hani taking so much. The Aphelios ult whiffs. Can they turn on this? Maybe with another Shyvana E. But no. Team Secret has to disengage. And this is buying time. I don't think Cerberus can Baron now. That's a win for Secret.
That was such a bad call for Cerberus. They should have just stayed on the Baron. There was actually a very little threat to them as a 5-man team on Baron with a strong front line to block the engage. I don't think that there was any reason to really call off the Baron there. They wanted to go for the... they wanted to have a cake and eat it too. Win the team fight, then snowball Baron into Inhibitor. So the dream scenario, but... yeah, not the percentage play. And once again, they delay the game a little bit. So more time for Secret to farm up some items and look for the Miracle team fight. Also, Artifact is back alive.
Yep, he is back. So if they want to go for the Baron, it will be a 5v5 once more. Truly the realm of the VCS. And Team Secret could still mechanically outplay here. You never know. But I just think this was a super smart draft. They saw the Shyvana, snap picked the Sejuani. And Sejuani and Nautilus, not only are they super tanky, they're really big. How do you weave the E through? Like, you're never hitting that backline.
Yeah, I think Team Secret relied a lot on mid-jungle to be far ahead, so they can actually force dives and have the Shyvana play ultra aggressively with Fate's Call as a backup, where to like save her in the last moment possible. But sadly, that never really materialized for them. So yeah, it's the draft kind of failed, and now we're looking at a game where one team is sitting on a draft they would really like to change right now.
Absolutely,
they would really like to have a real mid laner, and that's of course not possible.
Yeah, can you imagine a Rise this game? Oh, you're looking fantastic. Obviously,
honestly,
it would have changed the whole game. They can't just.
They would have liked the just the positions to change, Artifact and Celebrity.
Yeah.
With Artifact on the bot lane, he wouldn't have gone for this very inefficient teamfight itemization with Sang and Blade.
Yeah, you're true.
So Cerberus should still be focused on Baron. Of course, there's also the Dragon Soul coming up in 50 seconds. It's only a Cloud Soul, and the champs are not the greatest with Cloud Soul, I'd say. Most of them don't really profit too much, but it's always nice to have. So.
Absolutely.
able to play
There's
around
a
2 objectives
hook,
in a minute.
but it's only on Ron OP. Baron being burned. It's not the ideal Ophelio setup, but he has the chakrams, so you're definitely not complaining. And LL comes in with the slam dunk, taking him down to downtown. Harney now getting bounced around and taken out. And Celebrity chunked, and Cerberus hard win the fight. Venus hits a hook, but it doesn't matter. There's a little bit of damage thrown over DNK's shoulder. Ron OP procking another Ludens, procking a Runic Echo. Redemption will come in, though. They'll get a bit of a heal. They've got...
that's a super important redemption.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got the health bars. DNK does not have Dragon Form. He's really not much of a champion without it. Can they find anything here? Venus will not go down there. Bit lucky there. Now, Artifact, can you do it all? He gets Gravitomed. He's just getting taken out by Aphelios. And the rest of Team Secret will follow him to the grave as Venus says, "Ha-ha, not an ace, boys," and gets out. But Cerberus, I don't think they care very much.
And finally, there's no champion remaining for Cerberus to delay their Baron or disturb them from going for Baron, because for some reason Cerberus this game can't seem to just focus Baron when there's anyone on the map still. So finally, they've cleared all the prior requirements for them to go for Baron, and now Baron in their pocket. They should also just immediately turn to the Dragon. Pinks are coming down, so Dragon Soul and Baron to close out the game for Cerberus. There's not a whole lot Team Secret can do. I still question the synergy between Artifact and DNK. Once again, the DNK ulted out, and then immediately was Fate's called, so both effects stacked on top of each other. Not a lot of value. Could have really used the Fate's Call later on for another Baron approach.
There's Cloud Soul being picked up. Not super impactful for this team. Nautilus likes it to sort of rush forward. Aphelios likes it so his ult can double as an escape. But overall, not the most impactful. Also, we were wondering how Set would do on this patch, and it seems like not very well at the moment. 0-4, despite his team hard stomping the game. So LL, definitely not the better two-letter player for CES today.
Yeah, that's true. A double two-letter top lane setup. But yeah, this should just be the game very quickly. Yeah. Cerberus, there's not a lot Team Secret can do to fight back here. Their team composition just doesn't offer a lot. And this is the problem with the AP Shyvana, and maybe the reason we don't see AP Shyvana in other regions.
But to be honest, easy to counterpick. The tanks just completely new.
To be honest, AP Shyvana would have been an okay pick here if the rest of the team composition was different, I think.
Also,
can't really blame everything
something
on
to comment on here. His Ornn, I think, went all the way through the draft.
Yeah, twice. Yeah. He got nerfed. He got hit quite hard on the patch, so
I still think he's good.
I think
as the last team fight comes in, and I call it a fight, maybe I should call it a slaughter. As Cerberus just gets absolutely rocked. And nice job there, Shyvana, you traded a tower for the Nexus. Well done.
Shyvana almost arrived to the party. Sadly, she wasn't invited. Yeah, this time around, Cerberus stop all the weird AP Shyvana shenanigans and give or force her into 3 losses. Yeah. So AP Shyvana not on 75% win rate. And that's a good change.
Yeah, we finally see AP Shyvana lose a game. This completely broken champion will finally take a hit. About time. And, I mean, we are now 1-1. If Cerberus wins this next game, it has massive playoff implications.
It does. It does have big implications for both teams. Of course, Cerberus would 5, still 1 game or 1 series, I should say, behind Team Secret. It's 3 right now, so they can't catch up with Secret. Also, they lost the first head-to-head game, the first series. So even if they tied, they wouldn't jump ahead. But in terms of the fight for 4th place, that's very important.
The big one.
EVOS and DBL also on 4 and 5. So Cerberus would be the first team to go to 5 and 5. All these teams still play each other. It's a very, very exciting setup for the players. So
yeah, once again,
very important game for both teams.
You could go listen to the Everyway podcast, which just had a new episode come out where we actually talked a lot about the battle for 4th. And I think we said it kind of is going to come down to the head-to-head games. But if you pick up one on Team Secret, you've got a big old safety net all of a sudden. Does Cerberus.
Yep.
So that is very good. So we do have to pick an MVP for this game. Not super easy.
For me, it's Yado.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yado, especially in the early game, found the traits. Let Kalista kind of set Artifact behind for the whole game, where Artifact never was able to play to the strength of Kalista. He found the very strong
Actually,
role
no,
in
I
bot
do
lane,
disagree.
got all the kills
I do
later on.
disagree.
Yeah?
Rod OP.
Okay. Yeah, he was.
Rod
really good
OP
as well.
played out of his mind. I am hard in the Rod OP camp this game. Yado played well. Definitely deserves a shout out. But Rod OP hit so many hooks to get them leads.
Oh, fair enough. I always like my support.
Yeah.
I think Yado definitely deserves. I kind of expect Yado to get the official
Probably.
MVP because
They don't give it to
they always like to go for kills. They don't really like supports too much. So it's cool. We can give it to Ron OP, the person with the highest MVP score on his team. Of course, he got 3 very early on in the season. And once again, proving to us why he's one of the best supports this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will be it for game 2. We're at 1-1. Can Cerberus take the match, or will Secret get their hands back where they belong and take it 2-1? We'll find out in about 6.5 minutes. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody, for Game 3 here of Cerberus taking on Secret. It's 1-1 at the moment. Really interesting, I think.
2 kind of crazy games.
Yeah, exactly.
So
How back and forth?
Yeah, I like Cerberus's approach to the second game. Go back to things that worked on the past. And just draft a very strong front to back team composition with a lot of early agency through Yado, which worked out great. So do that again maybe. I think Team Secret got a little bit too cute. So I'd say even though they lost the second game quite convincingly, and if they go back to a more standard composition, I don't even mind another AP Shyvana, but maybe just don't pair it with a Kalista mid lane. Then they should be fine here.
Yep, I think that's fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the AP Shyvana not make a third appearance. I think we've now demonstrated that you can just pick tanks into it, and it isn't as effective. It has to get off to such an early lead to get those Dark Harvest stacks, potentially the Medjai stacks, but we are thick and fast into the Pickinson band. And I will just say one thing. I accidentally broke our pause screen. That's why it was really dodgy in the break. Sorry. My bad. But here we are with the Pickinson bands to see what comes out this time. Same bands so far as last time. The Senna not getting a go. Again, this Blitzcrank ban. It feels...
Blue side Senna ban, though.
Yeah. Interesting for sure. This Blitzcrank ban, though, feels like a waste.
It really does. Especially after Ron OP's performance on Nautilus. I don't see why you need to ban Blitzcrank. We can just do the same on Nautilus and even Thresh potentially. So, set open once again. Aphelios is open. We also have Ornn lingering there. I don't think Ornn will see too much play. It seems like VCS teams have really turned their back to Ornn. I think he's still pretty viable. But yeah, we are in a very quick region, so game times are short. Ornn doesn't get to his item spikes quickly enough, so it makes a lot of sense. Renekton first pick, though. Well, I guess Renekton got a lot better in this patch, to be honest, so he might go back to high priority. I still don't like the champion too much, but I think it's fine to pick him here.
I think so, and Renekton... I mean, I don't mind it. Lane bully against Hani. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, and a lot of buffs went his way. Can go for a very aggressive Renekton build. I like the Hydra rush if you get ahead. You get a lot of turret damage, a lot of turret plates. Turret plates give more gold again. So Renekton actually has an avenue to victory. He had a very narrow win condition in the last patch, but I think it got a little broader. So yeah, it's fine to pick Renekton. I don't think first picking Renekton is something you need to do.
No, I don't think so either. And the Syndra will be secured again. Is a flex pick for Secret. They obviously last game showed that it is very strong in the bot lane. And Venus
picking with the Nautilus or Onopi as well.
That he can just play Thresh or Leona. He's good on both of those champions.
And there we go. He likes his grab champs right now.
Yeah, I think you might be a bit ahead because I'm still just looking at a non-pick. Might be very far ahead, in fact. There's the Thresh. About time. We might have to figure out a bit of a racing.
Yeah, I paused, so I think we should be fine right now. I still don't know Yado's jump.
Yeah, Yado's just
sorry, everyone. That's
welcome to Bootleg Casting. We have to figure things out when one of us is in Australia and the other is in Germany. Sometimes our internet is a little bit different, to say the least. We maintain it. If you donate $20,000 to the stream, I'll move to Germany so that we can have a casting house. There you go. Only 20 grand. It's not that much. And MF picked as well.
Pocket money. Really.
Exactly. I mean,
so MF Thresh, interesting bot lane. We don't really see MF paired with Thresh too much. Usually the go-to pick for MF is Leona. So a lot of extra safety. I don't think MF really needs the extra safety. So that's a little bit curious. I still like the MF pick. It's a super strong champ. So
they're running it
stubborn.
back.
They want to go for Shyvana again.
Well, Dragons are very proud. So maybe DNK wants to restore his pride. And they have already seen have already seen that maybe Renekton's not quite as tanky as someone like Set. I mean, Set never got tanky in the last game. It was mostly Zhuhao Sejuani and Ronop's Stoneplate Nautilus. But they banned the Sejuani. I like that a lot. That's a good call.
Yeah, I like this adaptation. Yeah, that's a very good call. Of course, also banning the J4, which can definitely cause some trouble for Shyvana. When she uses her ultimate, J4 can just answer with his ultimate, then you lock down the Shyvana quite easily. 2 AD mid laners banned from an artifact, also a very smart adaptation, because of course now you already have 2 AP damage sources for our secret, very heavy AP damage sources. You kind of need an AD mid laner. You could go to Kiana. Oh, Irelia is another option.
Yeah, Hani. So, I mean, Hani had a rough lane phase, like really rough, but he actually looked pretty good the rest of the game. So I don't mind this.
Yeah, might also just go to the mid lane. Irelia still an okay mid laner. She's not super great. She loses a lot of them, but she still has a lot of playmaking potential. Also one of Artifact's better champs, I'd say. A lot of playmaking for him. He's a very strong mid laner when it comes to mechanics and just 1v1 matchups. Likes to play Tristana a lot. So now, what will Cerberus round that come out with? If they go for Rek'Sai,
they have gone for the Rek'Sai. This is super early game for Cerberus. They want to win this in the lanes. They're thinking about the Zoe. I think this would be a good pick. Does well into the Syndra. And is very safe here for Yado. So, this is looking like a strong comp for Cerberus, and I'm not sure about this secret comp. Maokai could be fun. I don't think we've had a Maokai in the VCS, and it's locked in.
No.
Here comes the tree.
All
right.
Okay, that's really surprising.
And it's Maokai mid.
The Maokai for Hani makes...
I think it's mid.
Maokai mid, you think?
Oh, no, never mind. There's the swaps.
No, I think it's Hani, Maokai here. The matchup into Renekton is one that you can definitely live through. It's annoying to play. Of course, tank into Renekton is always the same. You fall behind like 20, 25 CS, then you outscale the Renekton. So early on, there's some dive potential for Cerberus, but it's quite hard to dive Maokai, especially if he goes for the Aftershock, which I imagine he could be doing here. Usually you want to go with the Grasp in the top lane, of course, but Aftershock wouldn't be the worst option because it's very easy to apply, and then you can you make yourself almost undiveable.
Absolutely.
A Secret's composition is
it's going to be hard to team fight, I think. I think the J
They
span.
have no consistent.
The J span was smart, I think.
Yeah, Jace and Tristan. I think both would have been great for Team Secret. Now they don't really have an AD auto other than Artifact, and he of course needs to get close to start auto attacking. So not the easiest task. They still have a lot of scaling in their composition with a lot of tankiness provided by topside, and then we have a lot of burst damage and nuke so the synergy between Shyvana and Syndra is quite nice. Of course, you can just go Shyvana nukes from afar, and then Syndra moves in and uses her bursts to finish off the target. So I like this combination a lot.
And Irelia in there, throwing in an ult and then being able to dash around on low health targets. Always good.
I think their main objective this game is to skirmish, not 5v5 team fight, but skirmish in the smaller number of people with smaller number of people in there. Irelia, Shyvana, super strong skirmish combination. We have Maokai maybe adding a little bit of CC in there, and maybe sometimes the Syndra will move in from behind and just utilize her burst. I think Syndra's main objective this game, though, is catching waves and clearing waves as well. So it's not the super exciting Syndra. It's more on the Shyvana to once again pop off here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here we are in game finally, and I think my stream is fixed as well. I'm sorry, I couldn't actually see what happened for the last 3-4 minutes because my internet was betraying me, but it should be back. So right in time for the game. We should have a very slow start. There's not the biggest. I think the biggest gank opportunity is probably in mid lane for the Cerberus. They have double single target CC for Artifact, so he needs to be a little bit more careful. Other than that, top lane is not super easy to gank. You could actually see the solo kill for LL if Hani messes up level 1, because level 2 Renekton has a lot of damage.
Yep, absolutely.
But other than that, I don't see the biggest kill potential.
No, I think once they get to level 3, level 4, this Maokai should never ever die to Renekton. Maybe if there's a gank coming up, but even then, Maokai's pretty good at escaping ganks because you can just twist it advance to the jungler and use it as an escape.
Yeah, he went for Grasp, so he's not super tanky against ganks. He's a little bit stronger in trades into Renekton. That said, he will never win trades. Never is an overstatement. Of course, he will get to a stage where he has so many defensive items that the Renekton can't really do a whole lot. So he will need like 2 and 2.5 items to win trades against Renekton. But yeah, early on, he's never winning trades. So it's a little bit of a sustain option. Quite interested in his start. I have to say, when I played Maokai top lane, I like to go for Doran's Ring for more mana sustain, to be able to spam Q for long range CS, so I don't have to actually
approach the
trade
wave
into melee champs. Yeah, he didn't go for that. He went with the more burst protection, a little bit stronger against dice as well. Not sure if I like it. I have to see how well Hani is able to manage his mana here. But yeah, he's a pro player, he should be able to do.
Yeah, you'd hope so, for sure. You have to see where the jungles go early. I think Zhu Hao needs to have an early impact before DNK can come online, because as is both obvious and something we've said quite a few times, Shyvana, not really relevant in the early game. So to see.
There was a very fun small little interaction in the mid lane there. the Zoe used her redemption, which she picked up from the wave, on her own wave and to harass the enemy mid laner, of course, but it actually healed the minions and helped Artifact CS.
Yeah.
Because it healed them back up to full HP, and Artifact could set up his perfect CS position. So, we have an engagement.
Yeah, we do.
Artifact.
Can he? Yado going down potentially, but no. Zhu Hao comes in clutch, and Yado secures first blood, but the hook comes in. This should be the trade kill on to Zhu Hao. Ron OP throws the lantern to try and save him, but has no chance.
Hani invested his teleport once again, one of those VCS teleports for absolutely no reason, and this will cost him a lot. He Artifact actually TP top. That's a super smart decision, and he might actually look for a solo kill.
Big healing from the
wave is too big. Wave is a little bit too big. Yeah. think level disadvantage and a big wave prevented him from going for the trade, because in terms of items, he had a big advantage there.
Yeah.
Look at this solo kill again in the mid lane, or it wasn't actually a solo kill. Artifact lands flawless jet and sees this opportunity, especially with a bubble also missing, to go for the solo kill. Would have gotten the last hit, but Zhuhao is there to save his mid laner, and then, well, I'm not sure where he wanted to go.
Yeah, I think he might have realized he was dead there, but it was sort of good enough to get the first blood on you.
He could have turned away and run away.
Yeah, he had flash.
Yeah, I think that was just a lapse of judgment for him there.
I agree.
He got the kill, was super happy, and then just ran it down mid lane, river, in fact. So
wouldn't be the first time. So.
No.
See if he can bounce back from that one. Regardless of going down, it is good to get Zoe the lead against this Irelia. And we see a bit of a freeze being set up here by LL. That's fancy for the VCS, and he's going to make this Maokai very sad. He does have his Barmy Cinder already, so his trade power is much stronger than it has any right to be. But regardless,
yeah, it's not enough to really do anything to the Renekton, though. Especially with early lifesteal picked up for Renekton. He might actually lose traits right now, because the Vampiric Scepter is not a great item, but he can just sustain off the wave forever. So top lane is just in a war of attrition, and right now I think Renekton is definitely ahead in that war. First dragon, though, once again over to the Shyvana team, so that's a very good start for DNK. He started off with a dragon in all 3 games. First game was very quick for 4-dragon snowball for his team. Second game, they didn't really get access to the next 3, so we'll have to see where this game goes.
Yeah.
And I don't really like this strategy for LL, I have to say. Pushing in Maokai is great. Maokai is quite good CSing on the turret. Not the best, but he has very quick auto attacks. He has 0.8 attack speed at level 1 because he got buffed a lot.
Ooh, there's a flash forward. Celebrity taking a lot of damage. Is ignited. The lantern is... Oh, wow! Venus flashing forward to intercept a hook. Doing well. I don't think that was intentional, but the Spider Naut. Wow!
Wow. It was absolutely crazy. Oh, wow. Venus. Saving his ADC there, or mage this time around, but very aggressive engage from Ronopi and control of the bot lane. The summoner spell disadvantage in terms of TP against heal actually shaped this bot lane early on, because there's never a way for Team Secret to trade back into Artemis with heal available.
Yep.
So not too happy with the teleport choice for Celebrity. I think could have gone for a more aggressive summoner here. Or more defensive summoner, you could say as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see up in the top lane. It's I agree, maybe not the best. Oh, DNK finds Yado. No, Artifact goes for the flash ult and completely misses. We need to see a big E. Yado is on the run. Can DNK get another nuke?
What?
No, he turns around. The E was surely about to be out.
That was strange.
What just happened? Secret?
Why did he turn around? Okay. One more second and his E would have been up again. That was super strange from DNK. Well, okay, so Artifact completely messed this up big time. He didn't hit his ultimate, so no. And Zoe was able to run away. She didn't even have a flash, and they invested 2 flashes to get her. So a big disappointment for Team Secret. And I'm not sure what's going on. And look at DNK, he might actually not be going for P. Shyvana.
I think that's for a Nash's.
But no early AP item is very surprising.
I mean, he's still got the Runic Echoes for jungle.
No. It's still black.
No, that's blue. Well, it's... Oh, yeah, that's only Spine. I'm an idiot. That's how that works.
Yeah,
I'm a twat.
I think
Don't worry, I'm a twat.
He hasn't quite completed the Runic Echo. So.
Yeah, this is interesting. It might be... No, there's... Okay. Never mind. There's the Fiendish Codex.
Okay. Yeah.
It's AP.
Would have been very surprising.
I don't think any other form of Shyvana is viable.
No. Yeah, I agree. This looks a little bit like a Nashor's Rush, because of course you also need this item for Nashor's. So Nashor's Rush would give him more duelist power, more attack speed, of course, more on-hit damage. So an interesting adaptation. I think Runic Echoes is very strong on a lot of early power.
Yep. Herald summoned up as the Cerberus bot lane did rotate up. Wasn't answered by Team Secret, and they will lose tower plates for it. Secret looks slow.
Yep. They didn't lose too much gold, though, because they got two turret plates. It's only a small victory for Cerberus, and if you look at the gold total, still a very even game. That's mostly due to the fact that DNK has once again out-farmed the enemy jungler big time. Of course, there's also a big CS lead for the top lane. Actually, it's 1k gold lead even.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. LL in some trouble. There's the unleashed power. Here comes the dragon. The question is, who do they give the kill to? And it's DNK that'll claim it, as he got a Dark Harvest stack there. Maybe we're on our way to another AP Shyvana popping off.
The third stack already. He got one in the mid lane, one side jungle, and now one in the bot lane. So 3 stacks of Dark Harvest and 1 kill for DNK. It's starting to get scary.
Venus gets hooked. The box is used, as is Bullet Time. He's taking a lot of damage, but a good Maokai ult will slow Ron down. We should see the Spider Naut any moment, and he is safe. A lot of resources used by both sides here. Tell you who's not safe. DNK, as he goes down, Yado cleans him up. Artifact will follow him to the grave, and only Celebrity gets out. And Cerberus firing back.
Yeah, once again, over-aggressive TP to save his teammates there. Was not tanky enough.
Celebrity's in a lot of trouble here. There goes the Rek'Sai ult, and chomp, down goes the Syndra. The Shark gets a kill.
Yeah, out of nowhere, 3 kills to Cerberus, and now look at the gold lead. Suddenly it has really opened up, and Cerberus in a big advantage. It is, by the way, the Blade of the Rune King rush for the Renekton, so he should be able to dominate side lane for the whole game, with Blade of the Rune King obviously being super strong into Hani. So that's an interesting adaptation. I thought he would go towards the Hydra.
Ooh, there's a hook.
Another engage.
That hit a little bit lucky there. Zhu Hao will be able to get back to a tunnel. They want the fight, though. Hani has been called in on the TP. Are they going to go under tower? This is dangerous. Yeah, Zhu Hao, there we go. The Twisted Advance hits. He can't finish him off, though, and they just have to turn around. They're not going to get anything. They'll get the tower, but no kills. Team Secret, what is going on? They look like they're all 5 seconds out of sync with each other.
Yeah, and all too slow. It's like they're playing the game 2 seconds. It's wow. They should have definitely committed to the dive. Absolutely. I think they had 5 members there, or 4 members, and a very tanky Hani. They could have tanked the turret for a bit. Celebrity's ult was there. DNK was almost at ult point. Very reluctant to go for any kind of big play here. Quite surprising. And that was the big mistake. Overextended for the turret platings. Double TP comes in, but it's not enough.
I think that TP was super ill-advised.
Yeah, it was. The artifact immediately goes down. Celebrity, we know, dies in the end, running away from the enemy team. Once again, a little bit too aggressive.
Oh, and now we're back to live, and Artifact is caught again. Uses the Vanguard's edge to buy himself some space, but he'll lose the top lane tower, even if he does maintain his life. There's a flash hook going wide. It's ugly. Secret. Venus is not Ron OP. The Culver Meek does hit. Can they get enough damage down? No. Yado should be able to blast Cone away. Oh, there's the Maokai ult catching onto Zhu Hao, though. This might be the consolation kill being gifted. But no, because they're turning back onto Ron OP. Secret. Talk to each other. You have comms. What is going on? DNK flashing over the wall, but he doesn't have enough damage here. His team is out of range. This is horrible.
Everything missed there. Not a single hook. Oh, the one hook. Zhu Hao. That was the one hook that shouldn't hit.
They should have just focused him.
The wall.
Why turn for Ron OP? He's a support.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like their communication is not on point. today. A lot of weird calls where one tries to go or one tries to pursue one of the enemy targets and the other turns away. That happened twice that fight, and that should never happen in a pro team. So Team Secret looking out of sorts this game, and that's quite surprising after the first game was so dominant and they looked so much in sync. So what happened?
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Did they only scrim Shyvana Jace the entire week? Because they definitely knew how to play that comp, but now they've had the Shyvana, but not the Jace, and it's looked so much worse. But this is nothing to do with the comp, even though the comp is flawed, deeply flawed, I think. But this has nothing to do with it. That was just horrible. That was, oh, we've got Zhu Hao. He's going to die. We don't need to do anything. Like, no, you actually do need to kill him. They turn on to Ron OP, they don't kill him, and they end up getting nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, Celebrity hit a very crucial stun there, and I think this team didn't expect him to hit this one. So then Celebrity wanted to follow up on his great stun, but all the other members were a bit disjointed and didn't know or didn't think of the angle to go through. And then everyone called for chase, but the chase was a little bit delayed, so no kill went down. Also,
they might finally get something. If they can talk to each other and say focus LL, he should go down, and DNK gets the kill. Thankfully, there were no distractions. As TNK don't die.
Very good flash timing. So LL's flash will be available in 2 seconds. So yeah, now it is available. So very nice timing on the flash for LL. That's true. And they might actually give up another turret here with Rishald still available. Ooh, this is dangerous.
Yeah, this is 2 towers for a kill.
Too weak.
This is a bad trade here for Secret, and they're just getting further and further behind.
But honestly, the trade, they still need the cults. So their team composition only found.
Yes.
So getting another kill on Shyvana is almost as important as the map objectives. So they gave up more gold, they gave up more turrets, and now Cerberus can freely access the enemy jungle, of course, but might actually, if they win a fight now because of Shyvana's items. In hindsight, that would be worth them.
I suppose.
So it's kind of a hard call to make, but yeah. Could be a late game investment, this kill.
Potentially. We could still see this go late, and if it does go super late, I think you've got to start looking at Team Secret. But Cerberus definitely doesn't want it to go that far. Now, we do have a Mountain Rift, as the third Drake is being contested here. Could be very big for Team Secret should they get Mountain Soul. Will make it very difficult for Hani to die, as well as the Shyvana. She gets a lot of resistances if she gets 4 dragons.
Yeah, honestly, if they get Mountain Drake, the enemy team can't win anymore. Too much resistance, too many resistances. Artifact is playing
very strangely as he just instantly dies. And now
so
I guess trading it for the dragon is the call.
Oh no. They need to somehow get out of here.
I don't think there is any way out. LL playing the gatekeeper saying, you want to get out? You got to come through me. The bubble has landed. It's just on the Nautilus. Maybe they can bait into just committing everything onto Venus.
No.
Venus takes a lot of damage. Celebrity's dying. Hani's trying to get out. I think DNK will make it. And Hani with the flash. 3 kills for a dragon. I think Cerberus will take it.
Yeah, absolutely, they will. They need to further accelerate the game, of course. But right now, looking at the 4K gold lead, that should be enough. It's not like their composition is dysfunctional. So even though it's early game focused, it's still a strong team composition. So once you accrued a good early gold lead, I think you're fine. You're good to go for the rest of the game. So, well, Secret, I mean, the play in itself was okay, I would say. Artifact a little bit too aggressive once again. He seems to not know the boundaries of this new Irelia build too well. He's squishier than usual. Of course, on this Irelia build, Blade of the Rune King first, no HP whatsoever. So he actually goes down to mid laner and jungler very quickly.
Such a bad decision. I mean, and it has to be called. Like, there's no way he wins that 1v3 in any universe. Good reaction by Cerberus, though, honestly, not just taking the kill for Dragon trade, saying we can get inside track and just pin them in forever. This is a scary, scary time. They've got to run across Pine Gap, and there's machine guns pointing at them, quite literally in the form of bullet time. Only 2 of them escape. Ugh.
Yeah. So Cerberus playing very, very well for me. I think it's looking quite good for them. A very solid performance.
Oh, there's a catch. This is pretty good. Artemis immediately goes down, and D&K will pick up another one. The Dragon's getting scary.
Yeah, it is. It is really getting scary. So there's always that lingering doubt for Cerberus to a very strong Dragon in game 1. Like, oh no, that's another kill to her. We are stronger, but it's getting really scary. Also, Artemis Blue is flashed there. So opportunity for another catch, and also this delays Cerberus for another 2-3 minutes. So Secret has time to farm more items, and we are still looking at a 2-for-1 Dragon lead. If they get another Dragon, even at the cost of 2-3 kills, that's then suddenly worth it.
Yeah, I think it's dangerous, and I think part of the problem here is they're playing a bit of 4v5. Artifact, how does he have an impact the rest of this game?
Yeah, he's foregoing Trinity Force, so he's probably not just going towards a very tanky build now, because he's too squishy to do anything in team fights. And we talked about the difficulties of Artifact as your main DPS in terms of AD DPS this game. He's, of course, a melee champ, but we have another smaller skirmish here.
Zhuhao takes a fair bit of damage. D&K does have the Dragon Former. He wants to let it rip. No.
Yeah, this time not over, or not too fast on the trigger.
Yeah.
With the Dragon Form. I like that. He has been a little bit overzealous.
It's super important. I think it's genuinely the most important cooldown for Secret. Is that Dragon Form.
Yeah, luckily for them, it's a very short cooldown, of course, but he's still, once he is activated, it's pretty much gone team fight. He needs to be careful about when he wants to go for the big burst, because he can still kind of nuke a little bit with the normal E. It's not quite as scary.
You really need to be proccing it with auto attacks if it's the normal E. And I don't think AP Shyvana's quite tanky enough to do that.
Yeah, I mean, she's still ahead in terms of gold and experience as well of Zhuhao. So all the might fight dangerous on Cerberus. One of the reasons they don't really know what to do right now, that they can't approach Baron. The Baron taking is
okay,
mediocre. It's okay. It's not great. It's MF. MF loses a lot of damage compared to other ADCs. Zoe is not super great at taking Baron, but they've Blade of the Rune King on the Renekton, which is quite strong at taking Baron, of course. So it's fine, but they never get alone time with Baron. So
Ron P very deep. I don't think they're going to go in on that. Too many members of Secret around would have been very dangerous for Ron P. But gets out. Dragon is live. Artemis has immediately started it. They're trying to rush it down. D&K can still let it rip. As Dragon resets.
Arnie's looking for the flank. He's still on base.
Yeah, he's TPing.
Oh, it's very far away. It's not actually a flank.
No, this is just I need to be here. There wasn't really any great wards. Dragon started up once more. It's going to be a smite fight. Should just be a 50-50. Yeah, there's a hook though. No, it's time to fight as the big E does come in. That did a lot of damage. Bullet time in response. This is looking very good for Team Secret. Artifact is going down in the front line. They need to find the kills though. One more E. No, Yado blocks it, plays the bodyguard for Ron OP, and now it's looking bad for Secret. They turned it around really, really well. Double kill for Yado. 4 are dead. Celebrity walks away. And Cerberus got the Dragon. That's not good.
Yeah, that's once again we see why picking an ADC was really good for Team Secret here. Artifact just can't deal any damage in fight. Imagine he was a Tristana here. Even
I think Tristana was banned at least in second round.
Yeah, it was banned, of course, but still, it was a very smart adaptation for Cerberus, because I think Secret was looking at something like Tristana. Also one of Artifact's best champs, and yeah, he's having 0 game impact. He's just dying all the time. He tried to go into a duel with LL and lost heavily, and then was just dead almost immediately. Look at Artifact here in this fight and try to spot what he did here.
He died to LL.
Yeah, he's in the pit.
He's just walking around. Like, he did absolutely
Look at
nothing.
how much damage LL does to him, and he did nothing to him.
That damage as well
Artifact should have just backed
was
off.
without a W. He didn't even W him with the Blade of the Ruin King. This is just a 4v5.
He's so useless. Yeah, it is. So it started off with a lot of poke damage, but they don't have the consistency FPS to confirm any kills with poke damage. So now Cerberus is in a super good position to run away with this series and go to 5-5, be the first team of the 3 contenders for 4th place to go to 5 series victories. Usually you need 8, and Cerberus still play EVOS and DBL as well. So it's in their own hands, especially if they win today. It's a great advantage.
Yeah, this win just gives them the ability to lose to one of DBL or EVOS and still be in the running. Like, pretty firmly in the running for playoffs. So, I mean, suddenly, my prediction of Cerberus taking 4th looks a lot better if they're taking it over Secret. But we've got to say, Secret looking worse than ever. They're not bouncing back after last week. They look terrible.
The first game didn't made it look like they were back to like contending for 2nd place, but suddenly communication fails. Their drafts are weird. Their win conditions are unclear, and they don't seem to be able to recognize what they have to do. Artifact is not looking too great on his 2nd and tertiary champion picks. He's best on ADCs and I'd say assassins. But right now, Artifact, especially with Yado also on Zoe, I think this has been one of the crucial picks in this series where Yado is able to dominate mid lane.
DNK does get into dragon form, but it's not enough to clear the wave. And if they want to save this in him, they need to fight. Artifact is not going to hold this mid lane for long against LL. This is really rough. DNK does get a good chunk onto Artemis, but he's saved by the Thresh and does have lifesteal, so he's straight back up. There's the flash forward. They want this. Venus goes for the hook, does hit it. Bit of CC onto Artemis as well. Harney's trying to dive forward. It's not going to happen. The life bars are too low. And Cerberus will beat Team Secret probably. Might be calling it a touch too early, but this is going to be game. Oh my god.
So
Cerberus starts off the week with an upset.
Engage. Yeah, very surprising. But once again, the super disjointed engage. Venus went in. Flash grab after DNK's ultimate has run out. So Dragon was there, but not really doing anything. And yes, Artemis had a very easy time just turning around and auto-attacking. 3 kills for him. Cerberus 2-1 over Team Secret.
Yeah, a surprising moment, to say the least. Are we in for another week of making analysts look dumb?
Potentially. We're still in opposite week.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the next series with FTV playing?
Oh, FTV, obviously, because everything's upside down.
Yeah. Didn't quite work out for them last week. They got very close to actually taking down Flash. Who knows? It's possible.
Anything's possible in the VCS. And
apparently it is.
Gotta say, Cerberus, don't get me wrong, they played well, but there's just an element of... what was TS doing?
Yeah.
They didn't draft well, so that was a bad start. I didn't like the draft. I agree. The Irelia didn't make sense, and we saw it. Like, it was horrible. And then...
Yeah, I think they wanted an AD mid laner. Couldn't come up with a different... I thought, okay, we can't pick Tristana. We didn't find success on the Kalista, so let's not go for Kalista again. Jace was banned as well, so they were really struggling to come up with a suitable mid laner for their key team composition. Because AP would have been even worse, of course, with AP bot laner and AP heavy jungler. That's super easy to itemize against, so they needed an AD mid laner. They didn't go for the Kiana, which surprised me. I thought Kiana would have been a fine call. Kiana into Zoe. It's not a great lane matchup, but you can definitely survive and even look for some plays in mid lane.
Yeah.
So quite surprised. I think both teams valued Irelia with her new buffs with the Blade of the Rune King. Seems to be the new build. I didn't know that Aurelia would now rush Blade of the Rune King. Makes a lot of sense. She has very quick.
I think part of it was definitely he could never go Triforce that game.
Ah, that's true.
Because he was way too far behind. Pretty much from the word go, he wasn't having fun. We do have to pick an MVP for the game. It's kind of hard. I think all of Cerberus played really well.
Yeah. I think Yado once again had a pretty good game.
Yeah, the Zoe was really high impact.
Was very solid. LL had a strong Renekton performance.
Yeah, I think he had a free lane.
He did enough for an MVP though.
Yeah. I think Yado. I'm leaning towards Yado.
Yeah, I think Yado is a good call here. Also, a little bit for the last game as well. We get the smurfing on the Nautilus. So, yeah, I think Yado is a very good call. Looking like the better mid laner today, which is something you don't expect to say when Yado has to face against Artemis. Artifact, of course. Artemis is his own bot laner.
It's a bit confusing.
That would be a little bit weird.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Artifact had not a great series, just overall. Definitely wasn't the carry in game one, which they won, and looked pretty bad in their 2 losses. So Team Secret needs to figure something out, or, I mean, I don't think they can drop out of playoffs realistically. But, I mean, they might just get drubbed out of playoffs if they keep playing like this.
I mean, we talked about their chances yesterday, and their schedule is not getting easier.
Yeah.
Flash. So I think we said something like it's very likely that it's not likely, it could happen that they go 1-4 in the last 5 games, and if they go 1-4, they're 7-7. 7-7 usually is not enough to get to playoffs in VCS. So yeah, TS really, or the Team Secret really needs to get it back together. Maybe play coated again, improve your communication, and yeah, they're 6-4 now. They were 6-4. They actually looked way better than Flash, and then they lost 2 series in a row, and are now looking at 6-4. Only 1 series ahead of Cerberus, so might actually even lose their 3rd position here.
Yep, it's very, very possible. But that is going to be it for Team Secret taking on Cerberus. We'll be back for the 2nd game of the night in about half an hour. It's not necessarily as interesting a game, though I think it'll still be fun for sure. So see you soon for that one.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and stay tuned for F2V taking on EVOS today. And then, of course, if you don't want to watch, understandable, but please do. But if you really don't want to watch it or don't have time, come back tomorrow for
Flash vs. Garm, definitely the match of the week. But every match in the VCS, maybe sometimes it's not great League of Legends, but it's pretty consistently fun League of Legends. So we hope to see you. Stick around, guys. We know there's no LCK. We feel it too. But at least there's VCS. We'll see you guys in about half an hour. The stream will turn off, but don't you worry. We will be back in plenty of time for Series 2. See you guys. Have a good one.